Titties.
Boobs and boobs.
Nice. I did it! I only pushed the buttons on my stream deck and did not have OBS up, so glad that worked.
Hell yeah!
We'll just get the captions real quick. Okay. Hi. We're here. Had some tech issues, but we're here. We're going. Very, very excited to be back this week. If you are here and you want to do us a favor, really quick before we get into the actual game, retweeting our going live tweet is very free. It is the freest thing you could do today with your time. And just lets people know that we're here and we're hanging out. And that our little adventure here is still trucking along, which I'm very, very happy it is because I love it. Just a quick couple of housekeeping things before we get started. The very first thing is we are getting a sort of emote makeover in the next few streams. I will be streaming next week as well. And over that time, whenever things get approved, you're going to see new things. A new surprise emote from the wonderful Amnixia Nix, as they're known. And I updated the love emote, and I will also be updating the roll emote as well, so look out for those. They're very cute. I'm very happy.
I've seen the emote from Nyx. It's very nice.
Yes, you have. It's so good. Next week, I have to double check my schedule because I could be saying words wrong, but the best way to check is on my Twitter because that's where I know things. Next week, either on Monday or Tuesday, more likely on Tuesday, I will be back in gaming. There's actually a poll on my Twitter now that I'm going to retweet, so it is very visible, about what I should play, because I'm indecisive. But I'm going to be back with either Resident Evil 8, which I think is currently winning. Either we're starting Resident Evil 8, and I will be doing the Lady D cosplay because I have it. It's literally sitting behind me. Or we're going to finish Little Nightmares. Or we're going to continue Jedi Fallen Order. All three of those things could happen, just not on Tuesday. We'll see. I'm going to try and, from now on, getting into the habit of streaming twice a week and see how it feels. So this is like a first test run, so I'd appreciate it if you want to come hang out. You can come hang out. It's pretty cool. I have lost the poll.
I got it.
Oh?
I was going to say, I just voted in it, so.
Wow. Everyone else found it. It's good to know. I can't retweet it again. Hello? Yes, I can. I'm just gonna do one of these. There we go. Alright, sure. There we go. Okay, I bumped it to the top of my page again for anybody who's checking it out. Yeah, go vote. Tell me what to play. All of them are very good options, and I will only find out when it comes to that time. Do anything? Oh, yes. Also, this is, if I'm correct, yes, I am. Black History Month starts next week. which is great. Hi. You may not know. I wish this is what I wish I had a zoom, as like just a zoom of just my face. Hi. You may not know me, but my name is Dauntless, and I am a black.
Nice I said nice to meet you.
Oh my god, thank you. Yes, I know this is your first time encountering me on the internet.
Hi, Dauntless.
Thank you, Jake. I was waiting for somebody to do it.
This is a meeting of the non-blacks
with
our
me.
leader.
Yes. Black History Month is next week. I wrote this campaign from scratch over the course of roughly 2 years, and worked very, very, very hard on building this universe and the story that we're traversing through. You may have seen my DMing work on other pages as well. All of that is up on my VOD channel right now. But I feel like I'm starting to develop a presence in the TTRPG community and gaming community as well. If you like what I'm doing and you want to support your local Black queer creator, hi. Hello. My Ko-Fi link is now in chat because my mods are amazing. You can also find it on my Twitter, on my pinned. I will be making Black History Month posts as we go through, and we'll talk about it. But I am very here, and I'm carving out, and I'm doing the work in the space, and I am very, very dedicated to diversity and not taking bullshit, which I think is very evident from what I do, and I could always use support. And so this is the month where I'm not going to be shy about boosting my links. I am here. I'm doing the work. This is my legacy. You should support it. Thank you very much. I think, oh, no, connected to that as well. So many things. I should have written a list. I did roll it out kind of quietly, and I'm probably going to be tweaking it because it's low-key kind of embarrassing right now, but I did start a Throne. I did get my full access to Throne gifts over the week. If you don't know what Throne is a secure service that allows creators and fans to connect. If you, for some reason, like me enough, and you wanted to buy me a gift that is never necessary but always deeply appreciated, but I do have a wish list that is now up and existing, and you can find that below. There's like a giant Throne panel you can click on, and it'll take you right to the wish list. Yes, I put Neat Dude merch on there. I know it's embarrassing. But
not embarrassing.
It kind of is. It kind of is, but it's okay. It's small little wish list. None of that stuff is stuff that I am like keeling over to need right now, but it's stuff that if you were feeling very generous, that it could come to me and, you know, just brighten my day a little bit. And it's there, and it's always going to be there. It's going to be there from now on, and I might update it every once in a while, but that's like up and going now because I'm all official and stuff. And a final reminder to, if you like what we do as well, to clip your favorite moments. I know it can be hard because we're very ADHD and we talk over each other and we immediately forget the plot mid-sentence, but if you have moments of if you have moments of this campaign that you enjoy and you want other people to see, the clips are the best way to do that, because it can be very hard to retroactively do it, and you get to see your favorite moments as they're unfolding. So I love it when I see clips floating around of us. So, yes. I think that was everything I had to say. Not gonna lie, I don't have a recap for this one. So we're kind of just gonna hit the gas.
You know
Step
what?
on the gas.
Step on the gas.
I support it.
Yeah.
I could give like a bullet point list.
That
really
would be
quick.
great. Because it's not it's not upstairs.
Yeah.
I
So-
binge all of our episodes anyway.
All right.
That's
So
really sweet.
besties, we open up and we're on a boat. Big surprise.
Are you starting from the beginning?
One moment.
I'm
Oh, yes. So we catch up with Tide, who's hanging out with Boomstick and bonding, and then Faustus and Raven go eat food with Fishhook, and it's a good, fun old time. And Raven tells Faustus a weird roundabout way about how she ended up in her pact with Mephisto.
It was a lie.
It was a lie. And then Tide, Boomstick, and Renori all end up down there eating food. And Renori's trying to catch Tide up on all of the plans to go onto land and, to hopefully get Ripley out of her contract and also find out what happened to Renori's home and then also go to the lake that Tide himself identified as where the next stone is. But nobody listened to Renori because everyone was talking over each other with the weird tension that exists between Raven and Boomstick, and Boomstick ended up leaving, and Tide was like, you should talk to Boomstick, so Renori stormed off and went to go talk to Tessa. Also in this moment, Renori learned that Boomstick called our 4-player characters selfish for their own centering of their own problems, and that really upset Renori. Tide ended up chasing after Renori, and then they had a conversation, and it was fine, and everything was okay, but Renori then also went back to Casper and cried a little bit, and then, you know, we all officially decided that we're gonna take Boomstick, Tessa, and Ripley on land with us, because that's why all of these interpersonal dynamics were an issue to begin with. And then, you know, Raven and then subsequently everyone else found out that Ripley got a letter from her little brother several days ago, and he seems to be in danger. And everyone was like, what the fuck? Why'd you wait so long to tell us? We need to go now! And so that's our next plan of action, because we care about Ripley, and so we're heading to land. But Ripley has somewhat of a tenuous relationship with her family, because she left her family despite being, you know, part of, you know, the upper echelon of her home. And so we're not 100% sure, like, what it's gonna be like heading back into there. So, you know, so to speak, we've got to park the proverbial car down the street so that we're not, like, seen. So we've got to find a place to, you know, put the boat. And we left off with Casper getting ready to tell us our options and charting us a course, and here we go.
Okay. Thank you, Kristen. That was great. That was
beautiful.
You got everything. That was fantastic. So I'm gonna kind of just Sim style kind of place us all together for the sake of this. Nice. Nice.
Woohoo!
So the evening unfolds.
Mm-hmm.
With all of you sort of on separate courses after separate conversations. You're aware that the ship is moving towards Rydell, as was previously discussed. But now with that intent clearly, concretely certified, you've all begun to make, although sparse, because it's not really kind of hard for you guys to pick up, you've started to make your preparations to head on to land. The evening unfolds rather uneventfully for the rest of the night, as you all retire, and you do get a long rest as you prepare for the journey ahead. The next morning, pretty early, earlier than usual, all of you gather in various states of rest. Whether you're tired or not is up to you. But yes, Raven.
Forgot to ask you this before the session started, so that's my bad.
Uh-huh.
I fully was like, yes, I gotta ask Liz about this. Does Raven have another dream?
You do.
Cool.
But I'm trying to see if I'm gonna make you wait for it or if you're gonna have it later. You'll have a dream in general.
Okay. Cool. A song to sing.
Yes.
To help me cope with everything.
I knew we were gonna go here. It's honestly, I'll just give it to you now. Because who knows where we'll end up with this group of people here. This group right here.
It might be Thursday for 4 weeks.
Yeah, who knows? At least we made it to Thursday. You do have another dream, and it feels very familiar. You once again open your eyes out in sunlight and warmth. You're sitting in the same place that you had this last dream, just outside of one of the various temples of Corellin. Although this one specifically being the one that you were at the most. You're on a sun-warmed bench, You can see trees in the distance, and you can hear them just kind of moving side to side on a sort of languid breeze. Just the smallest of yellow wildflowers peek out of the grass kind of around your feet. And you have this sort of nagging dread just at the base of your skull. Because your conscious mind is like, ah, God, I gotta get out of here. You're very clearly still wearing the robes of the cult, as we've come to refer to them colloquially. And the survivalist part of your brain is trying to claw its way out, but the unconscious is just sitting here for a moment, basking in the sun. And you hear footsteps behind you on the grass, a little crunchy. And somebody comes to sit next to you. And when you turn, you see very familiar, a blonde elf, a little bit shorter than you, with long curly hair. It's been pulled up into a ponytail. And last time you saw her, the dream ended. But you're not being pulled away at the moment. Can you roll me a wisdom check with disadvantage, please?
I sure can. That would be a 15.
Okay. You recognize her. Not just from the cult. I mean, she is, after all, the reason for most of your scars at the moment. One particularly brutal incident at her, not at your expense. A mistake that she caused at your expense. But you recognize her from something else. But the unconscious mind isn't quite connecting with the conscious at the moment. And you kind of feel in sort of bullet time, like your dream self just kind of like, what? And she looks at you, she kind of turns so she can like hike her leg up on the bench, and the robes fall around her just a little bit too big. And she's got these large, warm brown eyes. She goes, Raven, I'm so sorry. I never meant for you to get hurt on my behalf, and I swear to you. And she takes up your hands, and when you touch her skin, she is ice cold. And not in the way of maybe perhaps somebody with magical affluence. This is the cold of a corpse. Raven, I swear to you, I'm gonna make this right. I owe you that. And she kind of just inclines her head at you. And she starts to slip away, and your arms just feel heavy, like where your hands drag across hers, and before your hands just fall into your lap. And she stands, and for a moment turns her face up towards the sun, sighs, and instead of turning inward to the building, begins to walk out to the forest. And you just watch her grow smaller and smaller on the horizon before you wake up. Thank you for reminding me. I wish I had done that more elegantly.
No, you're fine. That was actually really still so what the fuck, which is great.
Yes.
That's what I expect from these nightmares.
The essential quality.
Yeah.
So you all.
What the fuck is up with that? You know?
Yeah. You all awake. And in your various conditions of tiredness, gather once again at the captain's quarters to formally solidify your plans to arrive on land. There's been a shift, obviously, with Ripley, which Faustus, although you had been temporarily blinded in the moment, Lilith was able to, between Lilith and Raven, that information makes its way to you as well. You've gotten a bit of a detour, but it's time to formally solidify a plan both of where you're going to land and where you want to head from here. So for the first time, I get to use our map screen. Aha!
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's beautiful. Oh god, there's no sound. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Aha! Everybody speak?
There are captions.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Let's go.
Nice.
Let's go.
Hey. Oh yeah.
Let's go.
I love
Okay.
how anxious Casper's handwriting looks.
Yes. Let's pretend that this is
Definitely
Casper's
just Casper's.
handwriting and that I am not messy. This is a rough draft of the map. This map will probably be updated. And I'm going to find a way to maybe post this on Twitter or something that'll make it more visible, because I realize looking at it might be a little bit hard to process at the moment, but it is here. This is a zoomed in map of Rydell.
Oh, hell yeah.
So I'm going to kind of move this because I can do that. So you are all... Oop,
Our setup is so fancy now. I'm sorry, but we've made it.
we
It's this
are
moment,
high
right?
tech. I say as I cannot find where we are. Aha. Aha. We are all sort of at the base of the spine. Huh. I did that on purpose. If you can
So we're
see...
in the ass.
Sure. If you can see sort of where the spine meets the bottom of the map there, that mountain range that just carves down the center of the region, this is where the bay is located that everyone's been operating out of. I just forgot to draw on the islands. Oopsie. But that is where you all are.
All about imagination. It's okay.
Theater of the mind. Every written location is the name of a major city or fellowship or just not necessarily a region. It's not quite that big, but a major settlement of some kind on the map. All of you would be generally familiar with the existence of all of these locations, and of these locations that are on the map before you are necessarily secret. But depending on your various upbringings and travel, you may or may not know more or less about certain locations. Faustus, you know that Furia, no, Valeria, there we go. The university that you attended is located in Velden, which is pretty close to Heartland up north in the northern region of the country. Heartland is the capital of Rydell, which is our overall larger goal. Most of you have been on the run in various locations across this map, and certain locations will probably stand out to you more than others, but this is where we're operating. So,
When you haven't been on the run.
Tide's the only normal one. all y'all are dramatic. Tide's just chilling. So, not even gonna unpack that because Kristen's face is priceless right now. In the early morning, you all gather at the captain's quarters, and make your way.
Some of us were already there. Sorry.
All right. So make our way over to the captain's
Because
quarters.
it's Renori's room.
Yeah, it is. It's Renori's room.
And only Renori's, yes. Renori's the only person that's
Casper's
in that room.
honored. No, Casper's honored to be allowed in.
Mm-hmm.
Especially after the caramel incident.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what? You think I forgot about the fucking caramel?
Jesus. This is just gonna be another session of the caramel incident.
It is. You think I'm not opening up with that? You're wrong.
I am going to channel Casper's full evasiveness for that one there. So.
Oh, hey, quick question, DM.
Mhm.
So are we by this like little keel looking thing?
Yes. You are a
Okay.
little bit more to the east. You're literally just that cutout right there that arcs in almost a semicircle at the southernmost point of Rydell right there. It's just kind of whoa.
Mm-hmm.
That's the bay that you're in. I just didn't draw the islands.
Okay.
But that's where you're at. So you can refer to your zoomed in map of Shelleen Bay to get a better idea of where you currently are, which I will tell you, you are now curving up in the general direction of Portstone. It looks like Casper's going to take you in the sort of inner edge of the bay closer to mainland and just keep going all the way up until we figure out where to stop. That's the general bearing that the ship is heading on, curving around most of the islands on this northward path here, but staying within the bounds of the bay.
Sorry, which island did you say we were by? In the bay?
No, nowhere necessarily specific. Like, you're just curving
Okay.
upwards, in the general direction of, like, Portstone, and everything like that, which is on your your map of the bay, which I am not putting up right now. Also in resources.
I replied so that the next message in the Discord will take you immediately to the Shelling
Yes.
Bay one.
Thank you. I actually might be able to add that right now, but I'm very scared of breaking everything.
Don't worry about it.
Just got it to work.
Through the mines, okay?
It's
We're
pinned too, so
That's also true.
Oh, no.
Okay. So with that being said, you are, I'm going to kind of move it so it's still visible just directly to the, I guess, the left of me, where my face is right now is the bay that you're in. And this is the region as it opens up to you. To the north, Atalanthe and Iritage, there are little bits of it. That map would not be drawn in because you purchased the map that is purchased is for Rydell specifically. And then off to the west at the far, far edge is Saros. All of these are bordering the sort of tail of Pentheris Lake. Whew. With that being said, as you all gather within the captain's quarters, we said we're taking Ripley, Boomstick, and Tessa. Okay. The three of them also, knowing that you have asked them to accompany you, also make their way into the captain's quarters as well. Renori, at this point, you and Casper have had plenty of time to get ready for the day before anybody necessarily starts gathering. So as everybody files in,
Other activities, am I right?
All right.
as everybody gathers in, there are maps, as usual, spread out over the war table, but these ones look more specifically arranged so that everybody could get a better look at it no matter where they're at the table. So this map of Rydell is laid out next to the map, the closer map of the bay as well. And Casper is just kind of sitting there, standing, just kind of leaning casually on the table, looking over it. Seems to be a little lost in thought as you all file in. Renori, you see the rest of the party. You all have a moment to converse before we get into this.
hey, I grabbed Boomstick.
Thanks, Died. Hey, Boomstick.
Hi.
Cool.
Raven's gonna just walk in. If we're not all, oh no, we're all standing there.
Yeah, you're all
okay.
in. Yeah.
Raven's just going to immediately then be like, so we're headed.
Casper kind of picks up an errant quill that's just lying on the table. It is, options. Ripley is saying that we're heading for her hometown first. That's right near the base of the spine. We have a couple of options. Option, oh boy, not me moving the entire overlay. Option 1, we can kind of keep to the eastern side of the spine and head up through Melva and continue going north around that side. Raven, as he's describing this is familiar to you. This is the route that you probably stuck to more in your time on the run. We could head up north that way and curve towards the capital. That also put us in Veldon, which is where the university is, so which you know. So that's pretty decent path. Those are major cities, but also plenty of room to avoid them. Take more difficult paths so nobody can necessarily track us. Eastern side of the spine is an option as well. Be easier to dock in a major city. Less suspicion, more access to resources. I mean, I don't really go inland. We know this. The few times I've gone, I mostly have taken the eastern side, but I've kind of just hitched a ride in the back of a wagon kind of deal. It wasn't really me charging forth. So, opinions?
I'll probably echo a lot of like I'm really familiar with going on the eastern edge of the spine. We could just go that way, if that's most comfortable for everybody. And so there's that.
Eastern,
that
the eastern edge of the spine, I will also say, and he kind of just kind of pokes at a few things with the quill, not necessarily making permanent marks. There are a few places of like for example, I know Rindrum has this like fancy library there. I don't know if that's helpful.
A library.
Yeah. They have like it's a whole thing. It's like humongous. Tried to get in, did not.
Yeah, but you've got like a reputation about you.
No, that's not what it was. It's one of those things where like they watch you too closely for it to be worth it, you know? There's a difference between a challenge and just getting yourself caught.
This could have been me. So you were saying that this has to do with the eastern side or the western side?
The eastern. No, sorry, the western. There we go. I got myself backwards for a second. The western side. Left and right. We're going to do left and right. I have given up. It took a minute.
Right, that's fine.
On the left side of the spine is the route he's talking about right now, which would curve up through comparatively the same amount of major cities, but he's saying there's a library to be accessed there. There's also other things that he could mention in a second. That's not the side that you traveled on, so you're less familiar with the terrain there. The right side of the spine is where you spent most of your time on the run. That's the path that you curved down to find the Seahawk as you were kind of just skedaddling. Which he said it would be easier to access the right side because it would make the most sense with where the boat will probably have to be left in order to go check on Ripley's home.
Would it be fair for Raven to assume that because the right side would be less familiar to her, would there be like less of a chance she'd run into her cult on that side?
Roll.
The right side's more familiar.
The right side's more familiar to you. So are you asking the side that you haven't traveled?
The left side.
All right.
I got really fucked up.
It's
So
all right.
sorry.
This is gonna happen a lot through this conversation. I'm sensing for all of us, so it's fine.
I have no sense of direction whatsoever, so
I don't know
just
how
gonna...
I was. I don't know how I was able to differentiate between west and east better than left or right.
and right, yeah.
I don't want to unpack that.
I thought you said west.
Nice.
I'm just not gonna talk until we make a choice, because I'm gonna make it worse.
Oh boy.
Can I?
And honestly, Renori says that out loud too. So
Really quick, Tide, before you say anything, Tide. Raven, roll me. Do a religion check.
Oh, thank God. I could not read that number and my ass was so clenched. Okay. 18.
Okay. You do some mental math. So, with the cult and its history and also some of the more local dealings, you know that, like, this is auxiliary knowledge for you. You know that the whole religion isn't necessarily like this. It's just the sect that you were involved with is culty. And that specific sect tends to crop up in major cities that are on routes of trade, which is probably why you had so much trouble in the direction that you came on the right side of the spine running down, because both Zairn and Taranth, which are both near that river that kind of curves through the spine, are major trade cities. So it's like it's kind of like running through New York twice, and like being like, I'll be fine.
God. Okay.
It's like going through New
Yeah.
York and expecting not to find an ambulance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
understand that one.
We just heard one a minute ago.
exactly.
So yeah, Raven will probably echo a lot of this, being like, even though I'm more familiar with this side of the, I'm just gonna say this side and that side, and you'll probably, hopefully, know what I'm talking about.
I do.
Even though I'm more familiar with this side of the spine,
Use boating terms, port and starboard.
That doesn't make it
That's
better.
Christy, we
arguably
don't know
worse.
boating terms.
You think
We're
We're
I?
on a boat
I've
for
been
25
avoiding-
sessions and we've never said those words.
I in fact
Very few
purposely
of us
avoid
in
them.
this. Very few of us in this call are yacht gays, so like, we're
Jake.
not.
We know
One
as
day.
much about boating as
I
Ford
believe
does,
you.
okay?
Nice.
So she'll probably be like, it'll be best for our crew if we probably go on the left side of the spine, just because I feel like we'll probably not run into my cult that way, and I don't want that to be another thing that we have to worry about. So it's up to you guys. Would you rather us be able to navigate a little easier or risk running into my cult? It's like, I personally don't want to put you guys in that kind of danger. So
I think
DM, can I ask what side I would have come from?
You were, oh boy. You moved from out of Rydell into Rydell when you were younger. You actually, I can give you such major Tide lore right now. Look at what happens when you have a map. Tide, you did spend quite a bit of time on the Fenrir coast, which we have apparently been calling the Feral Coast, and I'm kind of here for it. The Fenrir coast, and after that, made your way to Rydell with your father, as he sort of closed down one business there to open up a more prosperous one in a port town, which is where we first met you. So you've been westward, but not necessarily northward.
Okay.
You've probably been through, I would say, you've probably been to Theldon, and you've probably been to Bellevale, but it was like once or twice, and you were younger.
Okay.
So,
I'm down for whatever. I mean, I guess we should figure out where on this map Ripley, your brother, would be, right?
oh, yeah, in the bay, I don't do maps. I really don't do maps.
me either.
I don't know how the sailor types do it. I just don't have the brain for it. So in the bay, and she literally just does this with her hands. I'm like, here.
are we able to translate that?
You could roll.
to what's
You could roll me an
going on?
intelligence check, looking at the map and whatever she just did, to see if you can figure it out.
19.
Okay.
A natural 20 for 23.
Okay. Nice. Both of you will work together on that.
My 19 then.
That's enough. for both of you, that's enough. That's more than enough, actually. So you, looking at what she did, you ask her to do it again, and she does it again. And looking at both comparatively the map of Shelleen Bay and Rydell, you're able to figure out where her home is. I'm trying to see if there's a helpful way that I can translate that location to you across maps, because, oh boy.
It looks like it's in the river of where the spine.
It's like right near the mouth of the river.
Yes.
It's
Renori?
like right, it's pretty coastal.
He's gonna turn to Casper and be like, hey, maybe I'm not too bad at maps after all.
He kind of just like,
Is it on the left side of the river?
that's a very good question that I should know. Hold on. God. Okay. It's kind of on so it's not really translated in the larger map, but when you look at the map of the bay, that large river mouth there that's at the very south of Rydell is actually more broken up into a few like rivers that just sort of overlap one another. And so you would guess that she's probably closer to the right of the spine.
Okay.
Renori is still looking to have her praise kink satisfied.
Casper presses just a gentle kiss against your temple. Just like, proud of you.
Is this self-fulfillment through my D&D character? Yes.
As you should.
Hyde is also making this face.
That's fine. I have to get my praise kink fulfilled somehow.
Does Renori say that out loud?
No, this is Kristen talking about myself.
Okay. I was wondering, because I was like, this is going to go in a different direction.
No.
I don't think I've ever thought thank you so sincerely in my head before. Anyway,
Well, now I'm tempted.
No. So.
Excuse me, I think that's a little out of character for Renori.
It's not.
It's not, though. That's what makes it hilarious. To break it down a little bit, because maps are head hurty, to break this down into a list of sort of like comparing the two.
Chris looked like the embodiment of head hurty there for a minute.
Chris looked like how I felt when I was writing this campaign and I realized that places needed to exist because this would happen.
Mm-hmm.
So, because I was like, oh, I could just improv it. They'll never go on land.
I'm about to be a method actor.
Oh, boy. So, I'm going to break it into a list of what the left holds in store and what the right holds in store. Okay? Starting with the right side of the spine. This is the path that Raven is most familiar with, which she has voiced aloud. This is where her cult would most likely not necessarily be located just on the right side of here necessarily, but this is where she had her run-ins, and she feels like they might be occupying this area. It will be easier to get to the right side of the spine if you're going to stop and help Ripley with her family. It will be easiest to go this way around the mountains rather than contend with them or move the ship. There are more cities to pass through here, but you also have the chance of finding more resources. These are major trade cities, very established, so there's also that, and also perhaps some coin. On the left side of the spine, where Rydell sort of turns more into meadow and farmland and such as the country continues westward, you will comparatively go through less major cities, or have to go through less major cities. Vrindrum, which Casper has just said, the city of Vrindrum does contain a large library with a lot of information in it that could be useful potentially. Tide has, he hasn't said this aloud, but Tide, you have been to both Theldon and Bellevale before. Pretty nice, both of them. And the left side of the spine will take you away from the path that Raven's familiar with, but also possibly take you out of impact with her cult or anything of that nature. It will also be harder to get to. You will either have to move the ship or travel on land, either just directly along the coast or through the spine to get over here. So I hope that was digestible.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
Just gonna throw this out there because nobody said it. We could zigzag back and forth across the spine, hitting every major city.
If you could go sightseeing.
It's not like it's not like we have a time crunch at all.
No, not at all.
So Tide is not gonna like put two and two together about the cult thing.
Mm-hmm.
Naturally. Well, if Raven knows the right side fast, and that's the easiest way to get to Ripley's family. I mean, I know of Beldrin and Bellevale, but not that well. I think it'd make more sense just to go on the right side.
I personally think that it's already been almost 4 days now since the letter was received by Ripley, and any time that we can shave off for the sake of her brother is important.
Well, I think it would be fine going straight to where Ripley lives or lived. It's just that, I mean, after that, whether we continue up the right side or if we scoot back down and go up the left.
Is there a problem with continuing the right side?
Oh, well, like that cult that's trying to kill me, they have influence in the cities on the left side.
Right side.
Right side.
Right side. I'll get there eventually.
Well, what if that just gives us the opportunity to fucking kill them?
So,
How powerful and numerous would you say the members of this particular sect are?
Liz?
Roll me a history check. With advantage.
Not the DM spit take.
That would... Sarah, she sounded so afraid.
Thank God you said advantage. I rolled a 2 the first time.
That's hilarious.
Modded 20.
Nice. Okay. The religion itself is very... the best analogy I can give is just the various strains of Christianity. That is a purposeful metaphor. So you have the major overarching religion that is very accessible. Corellin is a very well-worshipped god, being of the elven... one of the major elven gods, responsible for a lot of their sort of areas of life. However, your specific subset, it's giving evangelical. It's like very, it's common enough where like there could be spread out practice, but in terms of like concentrated influence, are you just asking like in general how powerful they are?
I think my question is like, well, yeah, in a sense, but I think that what my train of thought is how shunned would I know, like, would I know how shunned this specific cult is in like the greater pantheon of like Corellin worshippers?
Oh,
like how,
okay.
like how Westboro Baptist are we talking?
So okay, this particular sect is
I'm so triggered.
not looked upon positively whatsoever by the other elves in general and other practitioners under this religion, because elves take faith a little bit differently than most do because they live longer. It's not about pledging fealty to something you can't see. It's more of and you kind of see this in Tessa's attitude as well, with faith too, although it seems a little bit different for her. That faith is sort of a casual relationship with somebody that could potentially help you with the concept of hope itself. And so you know that the sect is looked upon very poorly because it takes religion very like using it like a weapon, very Westboro Baptist. Very, very disliked by disliked by most, but very persistent cockroach.
Okay, and so like if they wouldn't be able to call upon like other Corellin churches, how powerful are they on their own?
If you were to isolate like one temple or two, if you're talking about taking the entire sect down, it's not going to happen in a day. I'll put it like that. It's not going to be a situation of like if you bonked one of them on the head that they're going to like rally the troops necessarily. But you're not going to dismantle the religion in a day.
would the entire sect be kind of like, this is a wanted ad, this is Raven, we all hate her?
You're honestly not sure.
Okay. Raven is going to say, I honestly have no idea. However, that does not mean they should be underestimated in any way. And I don't necessarily think they're hated enough that we could possibly gain allies in trying to take them down, because they're normally harmless to the greater population of people.
Yeah.
Yes, my thought would be how much sort of countryside or wiggle room is there around these coastal cities? Are they like there's the mountains, there's a mile of terrain, and the city fills the space, or is it like could we go around them?
You could,
Like if we wanted to dodge a major city, we could.
on either side of the spine, if you didn't want to pass through major cities, you absolutely could.
But you'd potentially miss out on.
You'd miss out on a lot, and it would probably be harder travel because you won't be able to have access to supplies. You have to take a longer way around, but you absolutely could avoid major cities if you wanted to.
I would say that there is a chance that we would draw less attention as a troop of travelers going through major cities at the same time. Because we all look together. Just a very interesting, like, group of people. You know?
We could always just put a bag over your head. That would probably.
That would solve a lot of my issues, probably.
Casper just kind of sighs, like, or confidence is, as Faustus, you know this, confidence is the key to getting away with pretty much anything. So,
good thing I've got a lot of that.
If we look like we belong as a group and we are traveling, it will be fine.
Yeah, I mean,
general.
I'm not the only drow in the world. Raven isn't the only tiefling. It's not like we're getting dropped in the middle of, like, a society that doesn't know, who we are.
I'm pretty sure Faustus is the only human who looks like this, but if human.
Yes, but at least I'm a human that looks different than I did the last time I was on the mainland.
This is also very
That
true.
is to our benefit. Yes,
I also
Tide.
look different.
There's not a lot of me, though.
But that's okay. You don't have people trying to kill you.
Well, also, if we go up the...
Unless.
Wait, Tide, do you have people trying to kill you, and are we just now going to find out? The fuck is up with that, man?
Not that I know of.
Okay, I thought so.
I honestly... That would be the most shocking thing I would learn about you. To be honest.
I can think of some more shocking things, but...
We would be going up on the right side. Got there. Right side. It would be all coastal, so having a water ganassi with us would not be like, "Ayo, what the fuck is this?" You know?
I mean, people still say that, but yeah.
Oh, that sucks, dude.
Also, there is something to be said for a larger population potentially having an easier time blending in.
Yes.
Especially in a port city. A lot of people
Yes.
coming and going.
Especially as a drow who normally were not seen out and about during daytime.
So the right side.
Sure.
I think so.
The extent that Raven is comfortable potentially having to navigate some trouble with some of her enemies from her past.
I don't like it, but if it'll probably get us to where we need to go fastest, and I'm assuming the boat is still moving.
Yeah.
We're like almost where Ripley
It's gonna take a day or two still. Like, there's enough time to shift course. You're not right up there yet.
Cool. And we're going straight to Ripley's.
Uh-huh.
Oh, piss girl, Kristen.
Yep, I'm still listening.
That felt threatening.
I'm always listening.
She
the
sees
far
you when
away.
you're sleeping. She knows when you're awake.
In a sexy way? Sorry. I should medicate myself.
Oh, man.
But I don't particularly like it, but if you guys don't mind possibly having to help me along those lines, then I think it would make the most sense to go up that way.
I could go both ways, so it's fine by me.
Raven gives Faustus a high five.
Casper kind of just nice.
Listen, I got a couple tricks up my sleeve, and he pulls out some of the water and some of the sand and like mixes it, not enough to do the thing, but enough to like kind of start making
Like a weapon
form
of wet
appear.
sand.
Mm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a wet sand.
Are you making a sandcastle?
He just made kinetic sand, guys. That's a secret weapon, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Moon sand,
Nice.
actually.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
Then I just am reeling at the fact that what Ty did was essentially pull an iCarly and take out a butter sock and start swinging it around.
I
Okay, well, what you apparently don't know is those are the ingredients to create
A what?
elemental. So,
Oh, okay.
so that's what he
got
was
it.
doing.
yes.
Got it.
Nothing
Uh,
visually, like no monsters sprout in the space. I wasn't sure if you wanted me to say it or not, so I was very quiet. As the he sort of just takes a pinch of sand and mostly water and kind of mixes it in. You see, of its own volition, the water in this bottle begin to sort of splash angrily against the sides of the container and kind of just quiver and then settle.
Don't worry, Raven. We've got your fucking back. We're not gonna let any of them get to you. Not only will I protect you, but I will also rip them apart from the inside out.
Mm-hmm.
And I have spare the dying, so.
The general consensus, and Casper just kind of, his hand strays to the sword at his side. The general consensus is we're going to make fillets of anybody that tries any shit, so you're in good hands.
Yeah. While Renori is ripping them apart from the outside in, I'll rip them apart. While Renori is ripping them apart from the inside out, I'll rip them apart from the outside in.
okay.
That's how my shit works.
Death is kind of my thing, so...
Ripley, Raven, Ripley, like, leans over to you, she's like, it seems kind of violent, but I'm just telling you, I'm echoing the sentiment less violently.
No, I appreciate you, Ripley, so much in this moment right now.
Ripley, non-lethal blunt force trauma is perfectly acceptable as an alternative.
Oh,
if that makes
I
you
don't
more
have
comfortable.
anything against lethality. Don't worry.
Good.
Lethal blunt force trauma.
I appreciate you guys so much. This is... I'm on the receiving end of a lot of weird energy though right now, so we're gonna go up the right side, and cool. That's so fun. I love that.
Weird energy that wants to protect you is weird?
That's not the energy. It's just everyone turned extremely violent, and then I was just chilling here. So it
I
was
have
like a
rage
weird...
issues.
No, I totally get that. totally get that. Yes.
Anyway, I think we should get on land as soon as we can.
Yeah, let's
Okay.
do that. Let's do that.
What I'm gonna say for this, for just ease of transition, you all will automatically begin taking preparations to like offboard the ship, so you all can take like specific actions, but like the goal is to get on land today. So if there's something in mind that you want to do that's like a thing singular, we're gonna go around and see what's going on.
Yes, I have one singular thing.
If you're
I do.
making preparations for something specific, like you say, like I want to take this with me or I want to make this before I go, we'll also handle that. But the intent is to get off the boat. So just keep that in mind. None of this is going anywhere, and you'll have plenty of time back on the boat once this adventure is done, or with each other for the time being at least. So if you have anything to say to the people you're leaving behind for the time being, now would be also a good time. Assume everyone knows you're leaving. You don't have to worry about you disappearing. But okay. So we're just really quickly. So Casper, with that decision being made, Casper like starts rolling up the maps and everything like that. He seems intent on starting to get you on a more specific course. You're already heading in that bearing anyway. He's not leaving the room quite yet, but like that intent has been expressed. Okay, Renori, because Kristen, you immediately had a thing. So Renori, what's
I'm
up?
so sorry. My ADHD was like blah, 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 blah. Renori would want to scurry out after Boomstick to talk to Boomstick.
Okay. We'll come back to you in a second then. Raven, Tide, Faustus, do you have anything you want to do?
You were like, Renori. Okay, never mind.
No, it's not that. It's just that's conversation's not happening here. I'm just trying to track where everybody's gonna go. So, Raven, Faustus, Tide, do you have anything specific that you wanted to do?
Faustus is easy. He's just gonna get his equipment together, put his things in order, and make sure that he's ready to go. But that's about it. He doesn't have anything specific he wants to do.
Okay. Tide.
He's
Yeah.
got a mouthful of nerds.
I know, and I could help him out, but I'm not gonna.
Tide is gonna follow behind Boomstick.
Okay.
God damn it.
Raven.
What will Raven do?
WWRD.
So true.
What will Raven do?
I think
Throw up.
that. What?
I said throw up.
Oh, I thought you said grow up, and I was just like, where?
Maybe she'll finally grow up.
Grow up, bro. Grow
I was
up.
like, where? I was like, hold on.
Grow up, Raven. God.
She came down in a bubble, Doug. Anyway.
And what was her sister? A druid.
You telling me I'm wrong, bro?
You're gonna tell me that I'm
And what was
wrong?
her sister? The Wicked Witch of the East.
bro.
So what's
Nice.
Raven doing now?
Raven's
Thank
just
you.
doing this on the deck to herself.
Chris is like,
Yeah.
I don't
Raven
have
just-
ADHD, so can I
Raven's
reel
just
you all
memeing.
in?
No, I think that Raven would want to, like, just at some point during the time it takes to travel, will, like, go up to Faustus being like, hey, I have daggers, never really had to use daggers, so can you, like, help me with my form, I guess? And then will... God damn it, Chris.
In a sexy way, or
No. And then she'll also they'll be bantering about like the different crimes they've committed in different cities
Nice.
during that time period.
Raven, go ahead and do me an athletics check, please.
Oh, fun. Sure. That's a 17.
Nice. Okay.
Didn't they say the dice don't go with the story? Who says that?
Faustus, with Faustus's help, it's not that you. I mean, a dagger's pretty simple weapon. there's not a lot complicated to it, but Faustus helps you understand how to use it more than just stabby stab. The different ways to stabby stab, and you feel the muscle memory starting to kick in. You feel like you could defend yourself with a dagger or two if you needed to. Not necessarily like trained with them for your life per se, but you feel pretty confident. Okay. So the two of you are doing that, and in between then, probably afterwards, Faustus, you'll be able to go gather your belongings. Okay. We're gonna go to... My brain just blanked. So sorry. Okay, we're going to go to Boomstick and her trail of ducklings here. So everybody sort of disbands out of the captain's quarters onto their various tasks and preparations. Ripley kind of shuffles out a little bit awkwardly and finds a far corner to just sort of sit in. Tessa drifts just kind of out of view, just a ways away. Boomstick, kind of with intent, makes her way out of the captain's quarters, not necessarily looking back. Renori, it's pretty easy to follow her. Tide, Renori is following Boomstick, and you're just gonna keep it moving as well.
Yeah, he wants to go talk to her too.
Okay, so I imagine Renori like locked on target, and you just swiveled after her out of habit. So it's just like and she gets to about like the top deck hatch before she stops, and she turns. Hi.
I
Hey,
Hi.
I just have a really quick question, and it really feels like Tide's got a whole speech to get into with you. So I just want to get my question out of the way, and I realize that given everything going on, what I'm about to ask is like for sure not like on the top list of priorities, and I also know the answer might be no, but I was just wondering if those necklaces were done yet.
Oh, let me... Natural 20. They're not done. When I think about what I have left, I'll get them done tonight.
Oh, okay, yeah, cool. Boomstick.
I'll come help you.
I'll help.
Tide is very good at helping. Boomstick, I don't say it enough, but I really appreciate you. The Seahawk wouldn't function like at all if it weren't for you. It would probably literally fall apart, and I don't think you realize how crucial and important you are to this ship and this family. And if you ever need anything, please know that you can come to me.
At this point, Tide is like not glaring, but staring very intently at Boomstick, and like kind of like.
I want to see if she notices you, because she notices. It's as if she picks up what that is. No. She looks at it. So, Renori, you say this, and we love a natural 3. Renori, she looks at you as you're saying this, and you see this. From when you first met her, there's been sort of facade all the time about her, and it's kind of become an intrinsic part of the personality that you've come to know. And you see, for just the briefest of moments, it just all completely falls.
Yeah. And Renori would capitalize on that very brief moment. I was drawn to you the first day I set foot on this ship because you reminded me of my best friend Leah, who is dead now, but anyway, And we dated, but that my point is that I think you're a really precious person, both inherently and you could be to me as well, and I would like to get to know you better, and I'm sorry that I haven't put in that effort. But anyway, you're really important, and thank you a lot for helping me out with this present. And Renori will just, like, shrink a little bit as Tide's clearing of his throat. Will just be like, oh, fuck. Am I doing something wrong? Like, she'll start to internally, like, panic about what she said.
I love how Kristen prefaced that entire thing with, I'm going to capitalize on this moment and describe how you remind me of my dead ex-lover and friend.
I know. Well, because I never said that it was a good idea.
Capitalizing it with like a 0 net gain.
Low charisma, besties. Low charisma.
Tide, are you doing anything else to indicate that Boomstick should talk to her? Because that was clearly for Boomstick, but the situation's just too good.
The situation made Renori think it was about her, so she was like, I'm gonna shut up now.
He's gonna keep looking at her like, please read my mind or something. And depending on what she figures out of this, he might make a more rash decision.
Okay. Cool. So...
I appreciate that Tide is learning from the Raven thing that happened.
He isn't.
He's not. I can sense it. And I love him anyway. Okay, so Boomstick kind of... ooh boy. So there's that moment where the facade falls and you take the opportunity to get the rest of your thoughts out, Renori. And you see it immediately go back up, where she's like, I was immediately drawn to you, you know? And then it falls again because, like, we're like, oh, dead. There's, like, a visible roller coaster happening for a second.
Yeah,
but then
there was a visible roller coaster happening with Renori.
Mm-hmm. She kind of, puts her hands in her pockets a little bit, just kind of slouches. Yeah. Think Tide. She kind of casts a sideways glance at Tide and thank you. That's the one. Thank you.
I just know you think I'm an asshole, and I don't want that to be a thing anymore, and I'm sorry.
I don't think you're an asshole.
Not
like in a bad. I mean, I'm an asshole, so it's not a bad thing.
Yeah, okay. I shouldn't have said that. Never mind.
I mean,
I have a DM question. Sorry, real quick. Are both of her hands in her pockets?
They are at the moment. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna see if she's self-aware. I don't think she is. Nope.
What was the roll, bestie?
That's a 5.
Nice.
Okay. Thank you, because that's really nice. It's really nice. You can, I mean, you know, you already are, but you can, I'll help you guys. I'm here for you guys.
Yeah. And I think we've known that. I just wanted to be sure that you knew we're here for you, too.
So you remember how a few seconds ago I was like, I'm an asshole, and we, like, bonded over it a little bit? So, like, what's up? What's up? Like, do you need something else? Because, like, if you need something else, you don't have to do all this. It's
what?
like, okay.
You see, this is the thing, is you literally think I'm coming to you to just get something out of you.
I mean, it's like kind of my job, though. It's like most of my interactions with people is is that, so...
Yeah, but, like, that's not all that matters about you, and I'm just trying to make sure that you know that, because I don't want you thinking we're all a bunch of selfish fucks.
Hey, you know what's really cool? Being a water genasi. What do you think about that, Boomstick?
Oh my god, I'm gonna see if she puts that together.
Oh my god.
Dear Lord.
What was the roll, bestie?
Please don't be in that one.
It's a natural 20.
Oh, thank God.
Are all the pieces gonna come together all of a sudden?
Renori, roll me
Did you
insight,
get
please.
The folding chair instead of the game.
That was a
Insight,
steel chair
insight.
over the head.
Yes.
Insight, 21.
Tide says that, and it's like obviously supposed to prompt something in Boomstick, right? Because like Tide's not being subtle, but it's
Tide's never subtle.
Boost.
Tide tried to be.
He tried. I'm gonna give him credit. He tried. Boomstick goes on a facial journey. You see no. Well, I mean she's hot, so you see her like go like, what are you talking about? To you. Like, just this, what? And then, oh. And then she looks at you with that exact same face and then goes, yeah, thank you. I know that there is more of me that is of value than my services. That sounded weird.
I'm gonna go.
No,
Give
no.
me the necklaces
No.
when you're ready. I get it.
No.
Renori's
Renori.
gonna walk away.
Nope.
Renori's walking away.
Tide, do you do anything in this moment?
Hang on. I have to look at what I can do. Yeah.
Whole person.
Examining his spell list.
Wait, what are you gonna do?
Hold on, what?
Misty step in front of her.
Misty step,
Basically
okay.
Put myself in front of her.
I'm trying to like turn you up so we can hear you. Okay, perfect. So, Tide appears before you.
Hey, no. Let's.
I think that I'm really butchering this whole thing, and I don't think that the point of the conversation I was trying to have is being reached, which was proving to Boomstick that despite what she told Raven, I'm not a selfish asshole.
Please just come back over here.
Okay. So you lead Renori back over?
Yes.
Okay. Boomstick is just standing there with this deer in headlights kind of face.
I'm sorry, Boomstick. I put my foot in my mouth a lot, and essentially, I wanted to check in on the necklaces, because I'd really like to have those before we hit land, but then also I just wanted to tell you that I care about you, and that I see you, because I heard about the argument that you had with Raven, and that you think we're all selfish, and I don't want to be selfish, so I'm trying not to be selfish.
Oh. Shit.
You hear that? She sees you.
Tide, why the fuck are you being so weird right now?
Ooh, okay, that's, Tide, I get it, I think I get it now, yeah, no, I got it, okay, Renori, can we have a Tide, you can come, can we have a conversation not outside for a second?
Yeah.
Let's go on the Armory. Let's go to there. And she just turns on her heel and starts walking, like, very just awkward.
Yeah, Renori will follow, but very, like, question marks over her head, like...
Okay.
I will say, DM, by the way, that first interaction that Renori ever had with Boomstick, where when she was cleaning up the wounds on her and there was, like, you know, it burned and stuff, like Renori's hands. Renori has suspected this for a while, like because of that interaction. So I just want to be mindful of like Renori doesn't know that this is what this conversation is, but when it's said, she's gonna be like, oh yeah.
That's fair. Okay. You head down to the armory, and as usual, the hatches are propped open. You can see on the table, there's just various like very delicate fine tools, and some like coverings over the table as well. She
I'd
kind
also
of
just like to remind Kristen / Renori that Tide made a very big statement in last week, I think, that there is much more to Boomstick's story than everybody knows.
Yeah. I know.
You get down into the
She takes
armory, and she kind of like she comes down the ladder first, and then you follow behind, and then she kind of looks up and kind of just tests the hatch to make sure it's shut, and kind of just gestures you closer to the back of the armory. Okay. First of all, you weren't supposed to hear that part of or any of the argument, and that's
well, like Raven's one
remembering.
of my best friends, so
Yeah,
if Raven's upset by something, I'm gonna hear about it because I would die for her. So
you just hear her very quietly go, "Apologize for what you did. Don't make excuses." Like she's reciting something off a list.
it's a list Casper gave her.
Anyway,
I did I just unlock lore?
maybe. Right. I'm sorry that I said that.
You probably had a point. It's okay.
I didn't mean it to hurt anybody, but it did because that's what
It's
happens.
hurtful.
Yeah. I would. The context of that argument was.
I know.
Yeah, and it's just. Ever since Raven. I mean, you were there when it happened. I don't. I've wanted, and this is something I was going to tell everybody, but I kind of fucked it up with Raven, so. Ever since she renounced her pact, and she saved my life, I've been reevaluating. Because I realized that most of the relationships that I have are transactional, and I've gotten used to that. And the first time that I had something that was not transactional, I freaked the fuck out because I couldn't handle seeing two of those very limited relationships get just fighting with each other, because I don't have many of them, and Raven and Tessa don't have to run off into the sunset or anything. That's not what I mean. It's just that if they have a falling out, they're gonna want to avoid each other, right? That's logic. And that means they're always going to be, Raven is a very strong person, she'll probably get over it, but at least Tessa will just kind of be broken for a while, and I am not a good enough person to fix anybody.
That's not true.
It's not my skill set. I fix things, I can't fix people. And
not only is it not true, Boomstick, because you're inherently very caring, even though you don't want to put that at the forefront necessarily, but also it's never anyone's job to fix someone else.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine.
I just, I owe Raven an apology.
You do.
And I owe you an apology because I'm sorry. I just
It's okay.
I can't, I don't have a lot, and I fix things, and when people get broken, I have a habit of throwing them away because I can't fix them. And that's not fair to anybody, and if I keep doing that, I'm gonna not have a home again. So, what I'm trying to say, and she looks at Tide with this just slight panic for a second. I'm gonna back up. I'm not. I'm just gonna. And she takes off those heavy working gloves that she's always wearing. And Renori, have not being a fan of the sunlight, you are immediately met with a wave of dry heat. And you kind of have to squint a little bit at the sun influx of light, but as you're looking and it dims to just this dull sort of glow in front of you is still Boomstick very clearly, but much different. She has this deep scarlet skin that shimmers and shifts hue in the sunlight, with these faint sort of orange yellow spots that just like pulse and fade as the sunlight hits them. Her hair, usually pulled out of her face for convenience, has turned into just pure flame, especially at the ends where embers seem to drift off and just evaporate before they hit the wood of the ship. And on her face, just the freckles that she's had and those tan lines that she's had from being out in the sun are still reflected in this form. And she looks at you with pretty much the same eyes, but rather than a sort of like brownish amber, they're orange and flickering like live flame. So...
Oh, so you're a fire genasi. Yeah, I thought so. I thought so. Cause when we first met, touching you burned me.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that too.
No, don't apologize. Boomstick, you're gorgeous. You're amazing.
She kind of shuffles her feet a little bit.
You're so cool, Boomstick. I mean, like, it kind of hurts me a little bit just because, like, light isn't my skin's best friend, but, like, it's worth the pain. You're fucking awesome.
Thanks.
Boomstick, I mean, I'm a little worried about the boat.
Yeah, that's a
it's
common...
fine.
It's fine. It's fine.
I mean, Casper said you're like his little sister, so like I feel like the boat's probably safe. But I'm guessing because we're all the way down here, not a lot of people know about this. Okay, well, secret's safe with me then.
Yeah,
but
I'm not popular because I tend to hurt people.
Well, that's fucking bullshit. Sorry.
You don't know what happened, so I appreciate it, but and she kind of pulls the gloves forcefully back on and the just whoosh. I stay like this for a reason, and it's for everybody's safety, so.
Boomstick, we're all outsiders here.
Not quite in the way that I am, I think.
Not to leave during a very important moment, but I will be right back.
Okay, yeah, you're good.
That butter.
You have a moment with...
I gotta get the woo 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 woo.
Oh man.
The woo woo.
The woo woo. You have a moment with Boomstick as Renori starts buffering.
Listen. See, you can tell people. I know you can't tell everybody, but I think Renori was a really good option to start. And I'm sorry if I pushed you to do that.
Amazing, amazing audio.
Renori's doing that, by the way, like with their mouth.
I would like to believe that because Renori has poor decks, and this involves climbing a ladder to get
Yeah, she's just
that was
falling
the
over.
noise that happened when like her foot gets stuck or something.
Nice.
But I knew how you were feeling, and if you feel like you can't engage with Raven this way, I'm glad you can with Renori.
Thank you. It's just been a while since I feel like something could possibly be somewhat permanent. And things are starting to feel permanent in a good way. And I wish I could, more, but it's for the best like this. But I guess having people know is better. I can be better. Maybe fix myself.
You can be who you are.
Yeah. Maybe one day. I was really hoping Kristen would just walk in right there. That would have been so cinematic. She just woo-wooed in the background and then she's just fucking gone.
Woo-woo.
Dear God. I do have to ask, Sarah.
Yes.
Is Raven talking to Tessa today?
I, for the sake of time, don't want to have that conversation now.
Okay. That's fair.
Maybe after.
It's going to be long and arduous and emotionally complex.
Yup.
Okay.
No.
That's fair. That's
Not
fair.
having that
I just wanted to.
She is doing the pining, like, from a distance. She'll see Tessa, be like, "All right, I'm gonna talk to her," and then immediately leave.
Mm-hmm.
Just like I'm actually not.
Damn.
Gonna talk to her.
Do you think you would do it this session at all, or just different session?
No, probably not.
Okay.
Probably a different session.
Okay. Just keeping it in the back of my heads. Well, Renori's just fucking dead.
Oh my gosh, she fucking
She
did.
fucking dead. Bootsick just kind of, when Renori is having a buffering moment, she goes to the back of the room and from sort of around one of the crates pulls out a smaller box and then opens it, and there's a smaller box that she then unlocks with a key that's in her pocket, and in it are the necklaces that you've seen her working on. And so she pulls those out and she starts with the lack of anything else to do with her hands, starts bending the last few links into place. And now, whereas before, you were there with her when she was alone in that moment, so you would see her doing it with like her bare hands and using the natural like heat from her body to bend the links. You see her trying to do it with these gloves on and tools, and she's doing it, but not as well as before. And then she kind of like looks up, sees Renori, sighs, and kind of nods and takes the gloves off and starts doing it with just her fingers. Renori,
What did I miss?
your brain finishes downloading. Your update completes. And I don't even.
What did I miss? Virginia, my home sweet.
No.
Oh, sorry.
No. Boomstick
We're not
is
gonna do the slave owner song.
not this. Not here. Not at the beginning of Black History Month. You have you see Boomstick starting to work on the necklaces that you had asked her for. She's not like ignoring you. It's just like she's working on this while this conversation continues.
Did she say anything else? Or was it just like a...
I don't remember where the conversation was. It
was
really good.
So it was basically, I'm glad that you were able to tell Renori since you couldn't tell Raven. Now you can be more of your true self. That'll make you feel better. Blah blah blah.
That's what Tide said to her.
Yeah.
And is Renori still there?
Yeah.
Renori will leave. after, like,
Okay.
express. Well, no,
He's
like
not gonna
she'll.
say anything.
Well, no,
Just
let
gonna walk
me.
out.
Scott.
No, she'll. After all of that, like, she will, thank Boomstick for being open and honest and, like, reassure, that she is a safe space and that she won't tell anyone, and that if she ever needs to talk about it or anything else, she's available, and that she should go finish getting ready to get on land and then leave.
Yeah. Okay, so she would ooh. Yeah, okay. It's pleasant. I just can't think of what she would say in the moment, but it's just sort of like a one of those, not necessarily impolite, but she just kind of gets involved with the work and doesn't necessarily acknowledge you leaving. Tide, are you staying down there?
So Tide is gonna kind of like walk up to her, give her like a pat on the back, like a
Mm-hmm.
rub on the back, comforting, and then he's actually gonna follow up because he wants to grab Renori real quick.
Okay. She kind of just gives you a tired but sincere smile, and you're able to make your way after Renori. Renori, you emerge onto the top deck, and still pretty early morning. Tide, you're able to you both kind of converge at the ladder here for a second.
Hey, sorry for kind of ambushing you with that, but part of the reason the conversation went so poorly with Raven and Boomstick was because she thought Raven would be someone that she could share this information with.
Yeah, I picked that up, and that's a little weird, and it's gotta be something that happened in this timeline, because in the last one, Raven and Boomstick weren't friends, really. So I think we're missing some details.
I
Because,
can't even fathom
yeah,
that.
never mind, Tide. It's okay.
I know what you're saying, but I can't
I
try to put the pieces together.
I know. Okay.
But
I understand. Yeah.
my
You don't
point
have to
is,
apologize. By the way, it's okay.
It's too late to apologize.
Okay.
Too late. Oh yeah.
My point is that I thank you for listening to her, and I had no doubts that this is how the conversation would go, but it's I know been really hard for her to have really only a couple people know who she is, and I hope that every time she is able to be more open about it, it gets easier and she's more comfortable sharing that with other people.
Yeah.
I had a good life. Um, I was never wanted. I didn't have friends that died or anything, but looking the way that I do and looking the way that she does, you're never normal. No one ever looks at you like you're just a person. And you really only have your family, and you don't even have them because the one person you feel like can relate to you isn't there. And you just have the, the human half. And sometimes you don't even have that anymore. And it's tough. It's hard to be different and be different all the time, no matter what.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna go get my stuff together, but
Yeah, me too.
thanks again.
Thank you, Tide.
Okay. With that, unless there's any super important things somebody else got to do. Okay, sick. Um, you all sort of have your last conversations, so to speak. Everybody um, gathers their belongings, adventuring clothes, provisions, and such. Fishhook has several things that are put aside. You're all able to refill your water skins if you have one. And just in general, gather any supplies that you might need. Um, it does take a little while to get to the right side of the spine, but you do see as the sun kind of starts to set into first midday and then just droop past the horizon and take us into the final day before landfall. Um, Land becomes much closer, and the weight of the task ahead begins to weigh on all of your shoulders. And with that, we're going to take a break. Let's go. Everybody, please, if you're here, just stretch really quick, get some water. Take your meds if you haven't today. Check your posture. We will be back in a few minutes after we refresh to pick up this adventure. We will see you soon. Bye. Hello.
Boobs and butts.
Nice.
Oh.
Nice. Is everything broken?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Nope.
Nice. Okay. Sick. Before we jump right back in, just a quick, like, halftime. That's how the sports things work. Really quick.
Sports ball.
The sports ball. Really quick before we jump back in, I just wanted to reiterate that we're here for free, for fun, because this means a lot to all of us. And we all work very hard in what we do. And if you're enjoying the show so far and you want to let other people know about Stormborn's Curse, that is always so deeply appreciated. The people here on your here screen deserve so much support for the work and love that they put into their characters. It's honestly incredible. And honestly, my biggest want for 2022 is just for more people to go on this adventure with us, because I like sharing the things that I love with other people. So, if you know somebody that's into D&D, maybe wants to start, if you want a show that you can show to somebody that's going to reliably be there every Friday night, we got you. And as always, our VODs are over on my YouTube channel, which thank you for my wonderful VODs, because you did every command that's in there. Over on my VOD channel, you can find all the episodes of Stormborn's Curse, as well as some of my other gaming streams, which will be going up pretty regularly, because I'm going to start streaming more next week. So, oh, and also Fan House. I might be posting, I'm maybe going to be playing in more D&D campaigns soon, so I might start posting about the characters I'm getting to play and stuff. That might be fun. I think that was everything I had to say, so with no further ado, I am going to jump back in. So.
Oh, sorry. I forgot something.
Uh-huh. Is this there we go. Nice. Kristen is also starting
streaming every single day next week.
Next week. I'm so excited. Please go support Kristen. There we go. Yes, please go support Kristen. Kristen's amazing. We love Kristen. This is a Kristen Stan account. Okay. Jumping back in. Because I love this group. Oh, wait. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Hold on. I don't know if the person responsible for this is present right now. I have a sneaking suspicion. Thank you, Chris, for the just absolutely fucking chonkin donation to the Ko-Fi. Oh, geez. Can we shout out Chris Lawrence? We love Chris Lawrence. I don't know.
Yeah, no.
I don't know if you were doing a drive-by or if you're lurking, but I love you so much,
I saw
dude.
the little lurky lurk. Somebody's been lurking.
Thank you so much. I'm not going to call you out because, you never have to come.
Too late.
I'm calling it. It's like in a way where he could keep hiding. He doesn't have to come. He doesn't come.
True. No pressures.
Yes, we don't pressure lurkers here. This is a lurker safe zone. They're the eyeballs. Nice. Thank you so much, dude. It means a lot. Thank you. And have good lurks. Okay, jumping back into Stormborn's Curse. We are now on our continued sort of trajectory towards the mainland with a plan in stone. The final day, the dawn of the final day. The final day passes relatively quickly, mostly with taking inventory. I've actually never seen the Seahawk as busy as it is at the current moment, except for when you left port for the very first time. It seems like with approaching sort of closer to the mainland, everyone's sort of taking stock of what needs to be replenished, what needs to be watched, as Casper will be accompanying you as well. And so it's a little bit hectic, but enough gets done. A few of the sailors come by to wish you well as they see you walking around. And another day passes. You arrive sort of at the... Yes, Raven?
No, sorry, that was Raven waving at
Oh,
the first door.
that's adorable.
Bye. She's just like,
That's adorable. As the ship sort of approaches the coast here, just along the outer edge of the bay, you start to keep a lower profile. You enter into a lot heavier traffic upon the water. Lots of merchant ships. As Casper kind of told you and also that you'd put together, you're not seeing a lot of Navy presence, which is just bizarre. But tons of merchant ships and smaller fleet ships, and just huge passenger boats and everything, just all occupying the water space here. And your very steady, like, clipping pace kind of gets slowed as now you have to navigate in these lanes. You quickly move out of that sort of cluster as you exit where islands begin to sort of converge upon popular traffic, and you exit out into the quieter areas near the banks that are approaching Ricard. After some conversation with Ripley, Casper does bring the boat right up to the mouth of the river. And as you are sailing up that way, and the ship begins to slow and is prepped to sort of sit and be stationary, you see a small village. It's absolutely beautiful, despite its size. It's a very small cluster of buildings, maybe 12 or so in total, all very large, but oddly reflective. In the same way that the water tends to reflect the sun as it begins to set. These buildings just kind of catch the light in this really mesmerizing way. These deep clay-colored scalloped shingles sit atop these buildings. And as the Seahawk kind of comes to a stop, not necessarily directly in front, but somewhat a distance away, maybe less than a mile, and drops anchor, you can see people. You see orcs, in fact, and a few half-orcs, but orcs for the most part. You see these just very tall, sturdily built, beautiful people. Ripley's got some family. You see this very tall orc man. So he's got these very broad shoulders, a bit soft around the edges, and a little bit older gentleman as well, with long tusks that curve up and are capped with gold ends. Looks like they've been filed and added with decorative caps. He's got a head of somewhat tousled, dark hair that's somewhat kind of pulled out of his face, but for the most part seems to be still bothering him. And he's using like a spear, and you can just see he takes this very fluid and graceful, but almost like a dancer, in the way that a dancer moves very smoothly, but you can see all of the muscles trembling as they do so. He holds this position with the spear and stabs, and you just see like the water barely splashes, and he pulls forth as he reels this giant spear out of the sea, just fish upon fish stacked up, and he just and dumps them in a net that he has nearby. And you see a few other people fishing in this manner, just along the banks as well. The sailors aboard the Seahawk kind of help you set up like a gangplank. It's easy enough to pull pretty much up to the shore here, as close as possible, where no one would have to worry about swimming per se. You could just kind of wade up and out. And okay, so we're establishing our landing party one last time. Raven, Faustus, Renori, Tide, Casper, Boomstick, Tessa, Ripley. Yeah?
Bob
Alright, sick.
and Fred.
Yeah.
Bob and Fred, and Daphne, and Boma.
And Wesley.
And Wesley. You all make your way...
Periodically, I'm gonna say this now. Periodically, Raven will go up to Tide and be like, Wesley needs to be wet. So,
Oh gosh.
he does. I just googled it, and ghost crabs need their gills to be wet at all times in order to survive out of water. So,
So just for this moment, we're suspending, or we're re-entering reality.
I guess.
Okay.
In general, Wesley has not really expressed more than slight discomfort out of being at being kept out of the water for this amount of time.
Yeah, I would want to refresh Wesley.
What if we got a spray bottle and we just
Tide will.
spritzed him from time to
Apparently,
time,
that's
like
what I am.
like this, like that skin character in Doctor Who that has to be spritzed.
Oh my god, the oldest human alive, yes. Who is just literally skin wall.
We went from our fantasy to reality to 2014, which are all separate things.
What does she yell? Missed me! Missed me!
Tide will shape water to wet Wesley.
Nice.
But will also do enough to like wet Raven in the face.
Double nice.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm not your squirt bottle, so.
I mean, I can't reach the water. And look, I don't. I'll just get a spray bottle while we're on.
Good idea.
You all make your way off of the Seahawk with oh my god, my brain just did a hard Windows reset. You make your way off of the Seahawk with the aid of a rope ladder that's been tied pretty sturdily to the railing, enough for you to make your way down. It does kind of move from side to side, but the top of it is I see your face. The top of it is affixed enough where it's not like going at a tilt. It's just moving from side to side while you're on it. I need everybody to roll an athletics check, please.
Yep.
Was waiting for that.
I fucking knew it.
If your acrobatics is better, you can roll acrobatics if you'd like.
Oh, okay, it is.
14.
13.
Uh-huh. What's going
Hey,
on over there?
Bestie.
5.
Uh-huh. We are 14, a 13, a 5. I feel like we're missing somebody.
I used a luck point.
I saw it.
That's a 17.
Okay. So Tide and Raven, you have to stop every once in a while, as the ladder would start to pick up momentum with you moving on it. But with a careful pace, you make your way down into the water, and the water's about knee height where you are. A little uncomfortable with the currents, but it's not too bad to start making your way towards the shore. Faustus, you, as you're coming down the ladder, fully miss one of the rungs and your body starts to pitch, and then your foot finds its way to the next rung. Interesting. Make your way down the ladder with no other trouble. Renori, just give me a second.
I am not above burning luck points, which are mechanically more useful for important things to present myself from facing shame.
So after Faustus, Casper starts queuing up to go down, but he looks like he's coming down last. So Renori, you make your way down.
Making your way.
Kind of. You make it down the first few rungs okay. But as you start to get away from the deck and the ladder starts having more range of motion because the bottom isn't affixed to anything, your foot slips and you fall and splash into the water. Thankfully, it's not too shallow here where you're injured. It's just like you do impact the seafloor and have to stand up, and you are soaking wet, unfortunately. After you make your way down and you do your kersplash.
She's just quiet.
Yeah, that's fair.
Raven is doing her level best to just keep all of the laughter inside of her brain.
Boomstick
It looks like she's holding her breath.
Boomstick makes her way down with a pretty heavily packed brown leather backpack. That's got a waist buckle to it and everything, so she makes her way down pretty deftly. But as soon as she gets down to the bottom of the ladder, she'll have to make contact with the water. She's like, yeah. It's like a cat when you hold a cat over a bathtub and they just like recoil. So she's trying to psych herself up to like actually step down into it. Tessa is coming down the ladder in front of her, looks down and just pushes her. And you just see Boomstick just like slip and make a noise, just like and fall into the water. Not from a great height, just from enough to be a little funny. And she ends up in pretty much the same predicament as Renori, and then Tessa makes her way down. After Ripley, oh my dearest Ripley.
By the way, Renori, now that she wears her hair down, her hair is just like wet and long, and just like she looks a bit like literally a cat that got thrown in the water as well.
She's the character from The Ring.
Damn.
Okay. No.
The wet Maltese energy right over there.
Yep.
Yes.
Boomstick doesn't look any better. Tessa makes her way down, and then Ripley, bless her heart, also starts coming down, but she steps on one of the rungs, and it and her foot goes straight through about 3 of them, and she's able to like twist her hands into the rope, but she's like because she starts getting rope burn. And she just kind of heavily, like a heavy stone into water, just splashes down. But all of you are able to start wading your way towards shore. It doesn't take too long. It's just a little bit uncomfortable for some of you. As you make your way to the shore, I don't remember what time of day I said, but I'm going to just kind of move the sun in the sky a little bit, Ocarina of Time style. So it is now approaching evening. The sun is beginning to set, not quite at the horizon, but getting larger as it approaches. And you all are able to kind of regroup on the shore. Ripley has changed. She's wearing pretty simple...
You've changed.
Okay. Okay. She's wearing pretty simple black pants and a sleeveless black like crop top situation with leather armor pulled over it. And you can see she has taken, from where her hair is usually pulled up, she's let it fall down across her shoulders and just kind of pulled the sides away from her face. Her heavy warhammer is still strapped to her back. And yeah, that's about it. Instead of, she has completely shed the bullseye uniform for the time being. All of you begin heading in the direction of this village. And it's a pretty quiet journey as you make your way there, but once you actually approach the buildings and you get there, a few of the fishermen start looking up curiously at you. They seem to be mostly of full orc blood, and you can see a lot of the similarities in Ripley's physicality. Oh, Raven, you wave, and there are a few of the children that are kind of like peeking out and like looking, and then they like hide again.
Raven's disappointed it's the children who are waving.
Yes. There's one kind of younger, lanky, half orc that just kind of like... Nice. You make your way towards the village, where there are orcs that are carrying these large pots, kind of like either on their heads or at their waist, full of fish and vegetables and all sorts of spices. You can catch the aroma before you even make it there. And there's like a dull light of a campfire in the center. And as you approach, you actually see it's a bonfire. It's humongous, but it's used as a campfire. And as you approach, Ripley kind of stops everyone and goes, okay, okay. We don't... This is a safe area. And she kind of points up towards the mountains, and you can see just sparkling array of glowing light just at the base. That's the main, like, stronghold, is freaking weirdos call it. That's like the main city. That's where we're gonna go eventually, but I figured we could stay here for the night because everyone here likes me, and like figure out a plan. I really didn't expect to actually be doing this.
No, hey, Ripley.
Not panicking.
No. You are, and it's okay, because it's okay that this is stressful for you, but we're a group. You're not in this alone.
Mm-hmm.
Right now you're safe. You just said that they like you here. That's good. And you know, the burden of figuring all of this out is not just on you.
Right. Yeah.
We're gonna do it together, and it's gonna be okay.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna take you guys to meet a friend of mine. We'll be safe with her for the night, and if you're ever passing this way and you need a place to stay, just tell her I sent you.
Okay.
She'll always open her door to a friend, and then we can figure out, I guess, what we're gonna do. And she leads
Raven
you.
takes out a piece of paper and marks this place down.
Okay.
She writes free lodge and then dash free lodging.
Renori will, before they start walking, will grab Casper's hand, and like she's still like wet from falling, and since okay, all right, sincerely, she's gonna turn to Casper and be like, I'm sorry, I'm soaking wet, but like I want to hold your hand. So
He laces your fingers together. It's all right. I also
I
would.
Casper would ever complain, you know?
All right.
About that
All
situation.
right. All right. I also forgot to mention this because my brain is super right now. In that day before you disembark the Seahawk, Casper Casper
sorry,
has.
I read
No, we had the same
Christmas
moment.
One brain cell.
Before you disembarked the Seahawk, you had this moment because you would have probably spent the most time with Casper in that amount of time, more so than anybody else necessarily. He is physically changed. You see that his hair, which is usually like that light, almost but not quite reddish brown, is now very, very dark, almost black.
Okay, Howl.
Okay. He is actually wearing more jewelry. That's really funny. He's wearing more jewelry than usual.
Green dangly earrings.
But not in an ostentatious. Yes, of course. Of course.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna picture Howl.
That's fair. Not necessarily in an ostentatious, like, look at me kind of way. But definitely a distinct change his normal attire. He's also changed his clothes, less of a sort of sailor outfit, but like a silk shirt, a bit nicer pants, same old boots, and a deep green cloak. Is it green? No, I'm colorblind. I'm sorry. It's like this russet orange, almost. That's like a completely different thing.
On the color wheel. Just we went straight across.
It's fine. Don't ask questions. It's fine. Stop asking questions. No, stop. See, okay, you're doing math. We don't do that here.
Math?
You heard me. It's a deep russet orange. Not necessarily bright, but very, very dark. But this beautiful sort of velvet that shifts and shimmers a little bit in the light. And it's kind of just drawn around his shoulders. He does, because you spend so much time with him, you're like, it's not like, halt, who goes there? But
Yeah.
definitely a distinction all of you would have noticed. So as you all approach this village and Ripley leads you through, she takes you to a smaller house at the very back of the village. Not necessarily set apart from the rest. The lights, the glass here is like thick and kind of patterned in a way that you can't see through. Not necessarily frosted, but intentionally patterned. But there's a just gentle candlelight from within, and she knocks and then pushes open the door. And at the table, you see just this very simple but stunning orcish woman before you. She is a little shorter than Ripley, probably closer to 6 feet tall. Dark hair in these just wonderful natural ringlets that kind of just bounce at her shoulders. And when she sees you enter, she smiles, and there's just the slightest of gaps between her front teeth and the large tusks that curl outwards. There's the natural curvatures of her face, although she has like a very strong bone structure, implies just softness. And she stands, and first of all, the house smells wonderful. Like lavender, a hint of sea salt. Something has definitely been cooked in here or is being cooked in here. But just in this front room, you can't necessarily see what. And so this woman stands, wearing very practical, like fishing gear sort of situation. And looks at all of you and just grins with this beautiful smile. And Ripley kind of, okay, guys, this is Iselda. Iselda, these are my friends. My family. The new one. Nailed it. And Iselda just kind of turns.
I'm crying. I'm having emotions.
Iselda turns to all of you like, well, it is an honor to meet you all.
It's an honor to meet you.
That's very kind. I'm Iselda. I don't know how much Ripley has said about me, but so long as you're here, my abode is open to you. I've known this one, and she has to reach up, but she kind of tousles Ripley's hair. I've known this one since she was very small, and anything she needs, I will obviously very helpfully provide to you, and willingly as well.
Anyone who's willing to do anything for Ripley is good in my book, so.
That's very good to hear. Are y'all hungry?
Yes.
Yes, also, do you have, like, wine or something?
Yeah.
Ooh, yes.
Because I could really use something after falling in the ocean for the second time in 2 days.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I'm cold.
She kind of like reaches to the side and pulls out a fluffy, like gray blanket, and she passes it to you.
Renori wraps herself in it and then looks at Raven. Well, at least my thing isn't throwing up.
Look, it was a very stressful day.
Life?
Emotionally. And
you always throw up.
It was mainly in that one day.
But it's happened before.
It actually hasn't, I don't think.
No,
think.
it did.
No.
It
on
did.
different days? For what
Yeah.
reason? I need to start writing down Raven for that.
You need a throw up counter.
Anyway,
Raven will point to herself and be like, I'm Raven. This is Wesley. She like points to her head.
Oh,
this is where Wesley is.
My
right now.
goodness. Hi, little fella. And she just reaches out a finger, and Wesley just kind of like, and just like pokes her fingertip with this little claw. And she's just like,
just kidding.
No. Very much like just seeing a kitten, like that kind of just sheer joy, a kitten that you did not expect. Like that just kind of sheer joy. So okay, I will get you all something to eat. The back room is open for you. There shouldn't be too much noise. Unfortunately I just have the one room, but I'll make sure there's plenty to make it comfortable for you, and I'll be right back. And she kind of runs out the front door, and you just hear the general, like, there's the faintness of, like, music and conversation and the clanging of tools and wood spoons on pots and everything coming in from outside. And you're, for a moment, alone in this house. Anybody doing anything specific?
Tide is going to have, while everybody was introducing themselves, he's going to have sat where he presumes the food is going to be.
There's like that's fair. There is a small wooden table. It's kind of not small actually. It's like a normal sized wooden table with about 4 seats. So you're able to take a seat.
Is there? Hold on, I have to look at some. actually. Never mind.
This
Somebody
front
else
room
can go.
seems like, in the same way, this is very specific actually, so I'll just describe it. This front room seems like the kitchen in a way, but there's no actual cooking implements in here. Like, you don't see a stove, you don't see anything like that, but there are countertops and cabinets. There's the table. There is a very small furnace with a grill, like, over it, but it seems more for the intent of keeping something warm than cooking it. It seems like the communal food is brought inside rather than made within the homes.
In this moment, Renori would kind of like bundled up, pull Casper off to the side just a smidgen.
Okay.
And be disgusting and just say, by the way, you look really good like this. Just
That's
for the
reassuring to
record.
hear.
I mean, I prefer original Casper, but like, this is doing something.
Is this
Crispy
loud
Casper
enough?
ain't bad.
Is this loud enough for other people to potentially
You can
hear
roll
it?
me a perception check. It is a small house.
19,
Um,
I think.
it's quiet, but you do hear it. Like, it's very clearly not to anybody, but you do hear it.
Is there a fireplace in here?
There's a small grill with a flame going, but it's not like a fireplace.
But it couldn't be made into a fireplace, right? That
There's
would be
like
a bad
there's a
idea.
fire burning in it. It's like less of it's like a little it's like essentially a miniature fireplace, but with the intention of placing food on it. So there's like a clay outer shell and a pit within where the fire would go. And the top of it
George Foreman.
the top of it is open to, yeah, exactly, it's a George Foreman. It's like the top of it is open to just these iron bars where food would be placed. So there is a burning flame within it, but it's not a fireplace per se.
Okay, Raven is going to use. Oh, never mind. I can't do that. I thought I could make flames bigger, but it's just dimming the light with thaumaturgy.
Yeah,
So
unfortunately.
she'll be like, she'll gesture towards the fire and be like, I don't know if it'll actually help, but you could try to warm yourself up. Or I run hot if you want to just like put your hands in mine.
Fire doesn't agree with me. And
I run naturally warm. I'm not gonna just hug you for 5 minutes, but I can like warm your hands up.
I mean,
Holding
this
them.
fluffy blanket thing is working out pretty nicely. But thank
Okay.
you.
Just in case you want to log that into your head, in case.
Faustus, roll me a
Yeah,
perception
I'm
check.
probably gonna get wet again, so. Perception check?
Faustus.
Oh.
Oh.
And then in that brief moment, Renori is gonna like put her back against like Casper's chest and like force him to wrap around her.
He
and
does
the
it already, but then you like do it more, and he's like, oh.
Yeah.
You said a perception check?
Yeah.
13.
Okay. Roll one for Lilith.
Can do that.
Daddy is playing Pokemon Sorry.
That is a 21.
That was also a sentence that came out of Kristen's mouth.
That was a 21 psychic damage. Yeah, Kristen? What's up?
Are you talking about Daddy Jam? Yeah, okay. That's another streamer.
The notification popped up and I because of how my windows are, it looked like it was in chat. So I was really confused.
Oh man, that was priceless.
So Lilith rolled a 21 perception.
Yes.
I'm going to.
Thank you. Faustus, as this exchange is happening before you, you're kind of taking in the space, making, as usual, note of the entrances. Lilith kind of smacks you in the side of the face with her head.
What?
She kind of, like, extends her body and leans and looks very pointedly behind you.
Check over my shoulder.
You see a slightly open. So there, you see a couple of doors. So there's one that's firmly shut, and you see another that's slightly ajar. And she just looks at you and looks at the doors, and then looks at you and looks at the doors.
I do like one of these, like a little circling of the finger, which is just to tell Lilith to go take a look.
Okay. She sort of slides down your back, and then onto the ground, and gone. She is gone. Okay.
Would a nat 20 perception mean that I saw that interaction?
You would have seen Faustus do the finger, but not necessarily Lilith.
Okay. But, like, also, like, the beginning part of that
Yeah.
was, like, Lilith bop.
You would see the bopping and everything, not necessarily.
Raven says nothing.
You'd probably see Faustus's eyes if you're looking at Faustus, where the little squiggle is. The eye, just like that little sinuous line, just sort of like waves, like it's like moving because he's looking through Lilith's eyes to see what she sees when she goes and looks.
Raven, what she will do is stand, like, kind of like maneuver her way so she's standing near enough to Faustus so that if something does, like, important starts to happen here, she'll kind of like pinch him.
Okay.
To be like, hey.
Okay. So we'll come back to that in a second. The front door swings back open, and you smell the food before you see it. This sweet, very herb-like scent. And you see in front of you, Iselda is carrying a very big, like, not as large as the industrial-looking ones outside, but large enough to take up most of the small table that's in here. This large pot of, like, fish stew. There are pieces of fish that look just beautifully tender in this stew as well. It's like a very wonderful, like, orange-ish color, but not, like, unnaturally so, from some of the spices within it. You see, like, little sprigs of herb and such. You see also little bits of dough in there. Nice. And I can't say bless you, I have to say nice. There's a large ladle sticking out of the pot as well, and she kind of sets it down and goes, I hope everyone's okay with fish.
Yeah.
Yeah. She casts a glance over at Faustus.
Raven will do the nudging.
Just staring, and there's like a squiggly line, but you nudge him, and he looks over at you.
Are you okay with fish, Faustus?
You cannot hear her.
Well, after she nudges me,
you would snap out of it.
I'll
Okay,
drop it.
so I'll tell you what you see in a second.
Fish. Yeah, fish is fine.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, perfect. And she takes out from a nearby cabinet some wooden bowls and begins ladling out some of the stew for you all and passes around the bowls. I apologize again for not having all the furniture, but you're free to take reign of the space, make yourselves comfortable, make yourselves at home.
This is great. You don't have to worry.
So sweet.
I've slept in works.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Really am.
No, it's fine. It's just like camping.
You have more of this?
The entire pot is in front of you.
You have more than the entire pot's in front of Jai.
Because you're help yourself, yeah. So she kind of like leaves you to disseminate the space. Faustus, in the brief moments you were within Lilith's sight, from her viewpoint, you sort of slither along the ground, and there's a little
slithery little snake.
Not this.
It's like the vision. It's like the vision in Harry Potter.
Oh God!
He's slithering across the floor.
Yeah, It is, regrettably, but less transphobic. Lilith
Not
squeezed...
transphobic at all.
Exactly. 0% is still less.
I mean,
I know math. Lilith squeezes under the door. And your viewpoint kind of like warps uncomfortably as her bones adjust and she slips under the door. And she slips into like the door that's firmly shut. And you see another figure. You see very tall, actually a little bit taller than Ripley, a half orc, but you see him from the back. Very broad shoulders, very clearly muscled back.
How's his butt?
Poppin'.
Nice.
Quarter worthy. Like, you could just bounce a
Ooh.
gold piece off of that thing. And he's standing in very similar attire to Ripley, but missing the leather sort of chest piece. And in front of him is a full spread
Wait, does that mean
of...
he's also wearing a crop top?
Mhm.
Nice.
In front of him,
Getting a
you
full
see...
picture right now.
I'm hoping it's just really sinking in. In front of him,
marinating in this.
there is this entire spread of pearlescent gold and white armor, with lots of motifs of shells and waves imprinted into it. And he's just kind of standing there. You see somewhat wavy black hair that's been sort of pushed back away from the face. You're seeing him from behind. A few of the streaks look a little bit lighter, like some of the tufts of hair. And you just see this person from behind before your vision is interrupted and your connection with Lilith sort of fizzles out. You still feel her presence, but her sight fizzles away from you.
The building that we're in, is it like a residence or is it more like
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
so
bungalow style.
Faustus will just casually ask us. He's eating fish to Ripley's friend. Do you live alone here?
Yeah, I do.
Doubt. I press X for doubt.
Yeah, it's just me. Husband passed away a couple years ago, so I've been keeping the place to myself, just trying to stay busy.
Trying to decide whether to press it or just I'll let it go for now.
Okay.
I was thinking about pressing it, but I'll let it go.
Okay. She just takes a bowl for herself and very quickly cleans it out, and then she goes about setting up bedding for the night. And you see she goes, kind of gestures to all of you, so you see it. She's like, I'm not gonna tell you when to retire, obviously, but this will be your room. And she opens the door for you, Faustus, that you saw was slightly ajar. She pushes open one of the doors at the back of the house. And you see it's a pretty decently sized second room. There's like a bed that's kind of small, pushed up against the wall, but for the most part it's just open floor space. No other real furniture. There's like a chair and like a rickety little table, but for the most part it's just the open space. Looks like it was probably, judging from just the space, like something was probably in here that is no longer in here, like that spare bedroom you put everything in. Got plenty of blankets and pillows. If you need more, I can borrow some from somebody else. Only one bed, unfortunately, but I'm gonna try and make the floor as comfortable as I can for you all. And if you want more stew, feel free to help yourself. You can use the little furnace in the front to heat it if it gets too cold for you. And if you need anything,
most
just
of it's
let me
gone.
know. Yeah. Okay. Do you say that out loud?
Yeah.
Well, I would be happy to prepare some more.
I think we're okay.
All right.
Raven will say with a forced smile, hoping that Tide will just drop the thing.
I'm gonna go just the at this point, like, the sun is pretty much almost entirely beyond the horizon. Like, the stars are beginning to come out. You can see it through those windows. As you're in the inside, you can actually see out with the way that the glass is patterned, although it is a bit warped. But from the outside, you can't see in. It's almost like a scale, like a fish scale pattern that's printed into the glass, that distorts the view. It's very interesting to look at. Just before we lose the sun entirely, I'm going to go make sure nobody needs help wrangling up their nets or anything, but I'll be back in a couple of minutes. Just hang tight. She gives you a smile and a thumbs up. Oh, anytime.
Thanks.
And she backs out and she just kind of kicks the door shut behind her.
Raven will like whisper very lowly to Faustus, being like, "You see?"
Faustus points a finger at Raven and then casts message, which means he inaudibly mumbles something in return. He says, "I didn't steal anything. We are not alone here. I don't know if she was lying or what, but there's someone in the other room."
Maybe
You can reply to this message.
You can respond to this
I'm
message.
trying to think of like what the I'm trying to think of what Raven would say. She would probably be like, maybe we could ask Ripley. There's a lot of question marks at the end of this. It's just like
Faustus just still like sitting here like he picks his spoon up, takes another bite of fish, and points at Ripley and just says, your friend said no one else lives here, but there's someone in the other room."
You see her hand stray to the warhammer on her back, and she
Just sort of flips his cape over his shoulder and puts his hand on his rapier.
she makes her way past you. Stands
Purple.
outside the door.
Purple magical energy will immediately like start crackling around Renori's hands.
Okay.
yeah, where there was once a spoon, there is now a dagger. She's just like fiddling with it now.
Tide, you would see everybody just all like the air in the room changes.
He finally puts down his bowl, and kind of looks around, but has no idea what's going on. So he'll kind of be like, and just grab his satchel, so it's ready to use at any point, but he's not preparing anything.
He's you see Ripley, that her hand goes to the warhammer, and it's sort of sitting in it's very specific, but it's the design that I had. In God of War, Kratos has an omega symbol on his back that holds his axe. Naturally, Ripley has a shape very similar to that, hooked into this leather chestplate that she's wearing. So she just very carefully unhooks the hammer from behind her back, but holds it still there. Kind of turns it so it doesn't make a noise, but it's easy bashing range. And just kind of stands there for a moment and observes. And because my girl is my girl, boom, the door caves in. It does not come entirely off of its hinges, but it just splinters in enough to step through. Are you all like stepping it? She's stepping it. She's in the room.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I would be following.
Renori would be as close to right behind Ripley as humanly possible.
Okay.
Tide is going to be a little bit farther back because he had gotten up tape.
That's fair. You step. She steps into the room. You step in very quickly behind. And Faustus, you are not seeing this for the first time, but the rest of you are. You see a very tall, just a bit taller than Ripley now that she's actually in the room, half orc, with skin slightly different shade from some of the orcs that you've seen here. More of a bit of a lighter green. It's got black, sort of wavy, almost curly hair that's sort of not intentionally slicked back, but pushed out of his face with several blonde streaks that run through it. Very, very muscular and tall, but he's a little bit slimmer built than Ripley, if that makes sense. And he's wearing pretty much the same outfit, just minus the leather chest plate. But when he turns, you see, it's now moonlight that is streaming through the window, and it catches his eyes. There's a glint, almost like when an animal is outside, and the light catches its eyes, and for a moment you can see the reflections, and it's a bit unsettling. The same thing happens. This half-orc's eyes go, for a moment, iridescent. And he just kind of looks at all of you. Come in.
Renori cast hold person.
Okay, what is that?
It
Wisdom.
is. Yeah.
Okay.
You'd think I'd know by now. Wisdom.
This is where, come in. As whole person takes effect, and he looks, and with the little movement he has, clenches his jaw. Ripley just looks haunted.
Who are you?
He can't answer you in hold person because you were holding person. I believe is he
Ripley,
paralyzed, or is he just incapacitated? I believe hold person paralyzes, if I'm not mistaken.
Ripley, do you know this person?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, paralyzed.
Yeah, I do.
As a wizard who has no idea how their spells.
No, that's
God
a
damn it.
Kristen problem.
Crying. She
House just slowly slides the rapier out, and he's like, "Is this a friendly, you know this person, or a we stab him, you know this person?"
No. Don't stab him. Hooks the hammer.
Not even a little bit.
No, it's not worth it. Hooks the hammer back onto her back.
Raven's
Do you
dagger
want me
is
to-
still out, though.
Do you want me to drop the spell, Ripley? Can we trust this person?
Yeah.
You're sure?
Positive.
Renori drops the spell.
Okay. He kind of as it's released, and takes a minute, just and he stands to his full height, not necessarily in an intimidating manner, more like to crack his back, and
Yeah,
visibly
and
does attempt to do so.
Before he talks, Renori's gonna go and let that be a note for you to remember. Don't bother fucking with us, because we will win.
Right. Oh man. Some fucking welcome.
So your name?
Sarah's like, for reasons. Okay,
For note-taking reasons.
Your name is?
just as a note in general, I've noticed that you don't have to do all of this if you were just gonna ask me my name, but it's Kip.
That's not the only. I feel like a starting.
Oh, well, it's Kip. Hi,
Skip.
Kip. K-I-P.
Kip. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure if Discord cut you off.
Sorry, but actually not. All of this was not just to get your name. It was because we were told we were alone in this place, and come to find out you're fucking here.
Oh,
So that kind of rings as suspicious and threatening.
I
And-
see what happened. I am very genuinely sorry. I don't think Isilda knows I came back. And he sort
that
of...
feels like a problem too.
It kind of is. He extends like a hand for a handshake very slowly.
Who?
To you.
Oh.
I'm
You haven't earned one of those yet.
okay. He visibly just
Defeated, okay.
okay.
I'm liking Kip.
He's kind of baby. He just kind of right. I've just been gone for a while, and he doesn't even get that out before Ripley punches him in the face.
Nice.
And he stumbles, is like collides with the bed before he actually like catches his stance, and it's kind of
Something LGBT happens to Raven.
it's kind of, and you see that odd flicker in his eyes again.
Ripley, who is this? What?
You
Chris is sitting so far away.
like he's not gonna hurt you.
Right.
That's fair. Ripley's just like stands, cracks her neck. This motherfucker was supposed to protect my little brother, and he ran.
That's not good.
Yeah.
So, I'd like to introduce you to Kip, the next stain on Iselda's floor. And she...
Something LGBT happens to Raven in that moment.
She doesn't even unhook the hammer again. She just cracks her knuckles once. And Kip's like, we could talk about this. We really should talk about this. I know you're mad. I'm not making... You're not... I want to make a good... I want to make a good impression. And I feel... With you guys... She's about to kill me. And he doesn't even get that out, really. Like, that's the last thing he's able to say. As really just, again, just uppercut under the jaw. And he kind of just takes it. Ripley is standing at her full height.
I would probably start with groveling at this point.
Kip drops to his knees. I love him so much.
Something LGBT happens.
Okay. Kip drops to
It happens to Tide, too.
Kip drops to his knees. Hey. And Ripley is just standing over him, looking down and breathing heavy. You can
Renori walks up to him and kicks him in the chest.
Roll me a strength check.
Okay.
This is gonna go so well.
It literally can't do damage, but Faustus smacks him in the face with a mage hand.
13.
Okay.
It probably feels like a light breeze. It doesn't actually do anything.
Renori, you feel like you just kicked a wall.
Whatever, it was the principal.
Your foot hurts.
She doesn't show it.
Faustus, you do see the impact that the slap makes, but it's not really... It doesn't physically move him much, but you see it, and it's satisfying. You see the imprint of the hand for a moment. Okay. Apologizing. Right. Sorry. Got so overwhelmed there for a second. I can explain.
You better fucking do it quick.
Okay.
Let me explain.
Tide is gonna...
I'm very stressed right now. I don't do well under pressure.
You're stressed. You didn't protect Ripley's younger brother. You don't have a fucking right to be stressed right now.
Okay, yeah.
What if this is like one of those situations where we fucked with Casper and he's like dyslexic though? Like we should not go so hard on him. We don't know much about him yet.
Faustus, this is a really inconvenient time for you to develop a conscience.
Tide is gonna lean over to Raven and be like, "It's kind of hot."
Tide, this man is
Raven
foin,
nods,
by the way.
She doesn't actually address what Tide said, but she'll nod at what Tide says. And then just be like, "So, I would apologize first."
Uh-huh.
And apologies where you expect to be forgiven are not actual apologies.
Thank you
And
for...
then I would probably try to explain why you broke your promise that was extremely important to you.
Ah,
And then we'll go from there.
right. Thank you. Yeah.
I'm not being kind. This is just me trying to figure out what the fuck is happening.
Oh. Yeah, that's fair. Okay. Ripley. I'm sorry. But you don't know everything?
No, that you're not listening to what she just said.
It's true, she doesn't. I
Oh my.
didn't leave. In fact, I just found my way back. I was here. Okay. Things have been very different since you left. Very different. And my dad is kind of freaking out because your dad's been freaking out. And it's made things really weird for like everybody. And which is like not your fault. Of course it's not your fault. I was very happy for you to go find your life. Ripley's like doing that thing where she's tapping the side of her leg like to do something with her hands besides strangle a man. He's like, okay. I was with, your dad. I was with John. I was with your brothers. And I just woke up somewhere. I don't even know how to explain it. I was with everyone. And I opened my eyes. And I was no longer there. And I've literally been walking across the country to come back. And I just got back. And
Insight check.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't have the answers that you're going to try to probably beat out of me, which is like fair. Yeah. I mean, yeah, like I get it, but I don't know what's going on.
22.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever
15.
15 plus 8 is.
23.
Okay, thank you.
So many numbers.
23.
Okay.
23 and 22.
Okay.
And 15.
Okay. He
And
doesn't
50.
seem like he's lying. His general demeanor seems like he's used to this. He just seems like he's like he's getting slapped around and he's just like, okay, can I like finish? Like it's more of that kind of energy, and he seems like he's being genuine. He seems like he's really taking what Raven said to heart, even though it's like, nah, it's not that serious. I just want to figure out what's going on. Like, he seems like he's very intentionally, like, going down the list of, like, trying to get this information out.
He said across the country, not across, like, the entire...
He said out loud across the country.
So you were just on the opposite side of Rydell is the country we're in?
I, to be honest,
right?
Don't really know where I was. I just... It was weird. Okay, so I was with John.
There's an orc named John.
Yeah, that's Ripley's little brother.
Oh, okay.
She said that. It's spelled Jhon because I'm hilarious.
Nice. Alright, I'm writing that down.
I was with John, and teaching him to like dodge and weave and stuff because he needs to. And anyway, we were together and he got a good hit in, and I was proud of him. And then I just started feeling woozy, and I could hear him talking to me, but it wasn't making sense. And I blinked, and I was just somewhere else. I still don't know where. I know I walked through a few farming villages and scared the shit out of some poor old people, but I was just elsewhere. I don't know. I know this isn't very satisfying. It's not making a lot of sense, and also this is a really bad impression for who I assume are your friends. I'm so sorry.
We're her family.
Like, that's a face he makes, like, just, oh, Rip, proud of you.
Fuck off.
Sorry. You're mad at me. You're mad at me. You're mad at me.
Raven's really trying hard to hate
We're-
this person. Or I'm trying really hard to hate this person. I don't know. We're the same person.
I don't know what happened, and I haven't had any time to figure it out. I literally just got here, which is why I said I don't think Iselda knows I'm back. Because I don't know what's going on.
People don't just end up across the country for no fucking reason.
Well, I did, and I don't know how to prove that to you.
Can I, like, do an Arcana check to see if there's any kind of magical nonsense
You
that
could.
I would know about?
Can
We'll
I
do a magical nonsense check too.
Sure.
I would like to do that too. Nat 20.
Yeah, for a
Raven,
27.
roll yours with disadvantage.
No,
Go.
I was me.
I was like, me?
I think that I would like to roll instead because I just remembered her whole fucky wucky arcana thing. So it probably wouldn't go well. But I would like to see if that's what I'm calling it.
Fucking what?
Wibbly wobbly fucky wucky.
Nice.
Yeah.
Time is a weird soup.
Time is a weird too.
If I could tell if they're related,
Go ahead and do
would that be
me
a perception or investigate?
investigation.
I have better.
Renori, what you got a nat 20? What's the total?
27.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, there are a number of specific spells that can obviously move people across long distances. You don't necessarily know about spontaneity. You also don't trust this person entirely, so you're not, factoring that in. You're kind of casting your net a little bit wider here. Obviously, quite a few spells that can just boop. But it's not unheard of for magic to go out of control. There are a number of things. If a user doesn't know what they're doing, if a user can't control the magic they have access to, if it's not a magic that can be controlled at all.
John, Kip, are you or John? Are you magic users at all?
I'm kind of, I recently started taking an oath, to, like, Goddess of the Sea, because I kind of spent a lot of time here.
Boy, who?
Goddess of the Sea.
Yeah, name.
This is not making me look good. I've kind of just started. So I went to, like, there's a little temple, and I was just like, hey, I think it would be super cool if, like, I could, because, like, the ocean has given me my life, I could, like, give my life back to the ocean, but, like, not in a warlocky kind of way, but in, like, a righteous kind of way. I don't know. I just needed something to do with my hands. I didn't really look for a name. I was just like, the gods will speak to me, and
I'm just gonna put that out there.
I think it's cool. I just think I would be really terrible at it.
I rolled
Was
like
it-
my modifier is a +8. I got a 17 for that investigation.
Nice.
All you needed was something to do with your hands. You could have just gotten a Rubik's Cube or...
A what?
Do you know?
Never mind.
Do you know?
He hasn't heard of the Wizard Rubik's. That's for you northern folk.
Rubik's puzzle cube.
Yes. Kristen just took psychic damage.
I am too
the
sober for this.
It's the drag
Can-
queen Rubik's.
Can I? Oh my god. I don't know, because Tide also has a faith to Zeboim,
Mm-hmm.
who is a goddess of the ocean,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't remember. Hang on.
is the goddess named Umberly.
What? No. God.
Okay.
She's
Well,
like
Just
the
had
worst.
to double check.
No.
Would have had to stab. Nothing to do at that
She's
point.
killed so many good people. I would never.
Well, I don't really know much about your character, so.
Yeah, that's fair.
You don't serve Umberly, so that is sort of a plus.
I would say that's a plus. Yeah, I don't.
It's
It'd
a
be more of a
net
plus
zero.
if you knew which goddess you did serve.
I would
But
agree with
Can
you.
I don't, okay, so this is something that I think is going to be very tied.
Uh-huh.
I need to know if can remember the symbol of the goddess he's aligned with.
Religion check. With advantage.
Was it okay? Religion. Okay. +3.
Could I
Okay.
also-
A modded 20.
Oh, never mind.
What did you want
So
to do?
he's gonna remember his own goddess, Zeboam, whose symbol is like a turtle shell.
Yeah.
Okay,
What did you want to do, Raven?
yeah, first I just wanted to get that investigation 18
Okay.
result about their,
You do see that was if they're related, right?
yeah.
You do see a lot of very similar features. They have very striking resemblance, like in the nose, obviously like height and build, but like the more superficial stuff, like their nose, their eyes, something about the way he talks just reminds you of her as well. That's not necessarily a hereditary thing, but it
Like
just
the
sticks out to you.
cadence,
The
yeah.
cadence of like how he speaks, yeah.
And then I would like to do a religion check to see if I recognize or could possibly recognize any religious symbols that are on his armor. 'Cause
Okay.
he said there was a spell on.
Yeah, it's so all of the armor is laid out on like the bed. It's just like all laid out right there. And yeah, you absolutely can take a look at it. Roll me
Oh,
religion.
all laid out on a bed.
Oh, My.
That is a 19.
okay, hold on, I gotta reset the captions. Okay. So
8. Close 8 for
whoa boy. You do see on the armor where it's laid out a few, it's not like the main archetype of the design, but you do see on one of the pauldrons a small turtle shell, like is part of, like the pauldrons look like the branches of coral reef and waves and fish, like they're very artful and designed, and you do see these little few like turtle shells repeating. Ow.
Do I see that as well?
Roll me a perception check.
Uh-oh.
Here we go. God damn it.
Wait, do I know that Tide were like as a druid is connected to a sea goddess?
No.
No, right?
He's talked about it.
He's never spoken about it, and Genasi
And
don't
he
have a
got an
central
8,
religion.
So he's not seeing it.
Mm,
You are two halves of very helpful information right now. It's hilarious.
mhm.
Also, we're not entirely sure that the goddess or god that Tide worships is in fact a sea goddess. It could be a goddess of turtles.
This is true. You have no evidence to support otherwise, except for Tide knowing for a fact.
I'm
I'm so sorry. I'm feeling the sauce today.
Raven out loud will kind of be like, is this turtle symbol have to do with your goddess?
Wait, what?
She'll point to the
Oh yeah,
She'll point
actually,
I
so
like turtles.
and it's
Oh,
so like watching him is fun because like as your characters probably wouldn't recognize it, but you as people would. Such an ADHD moment. As soon as you bring it up, he's just like, oh yeah, like instantly just gets into talking about the armor, still on his knees, completely just switches tracks. So I didn't like commission this. It was just kind of like, this is why I was like, oh, the paladin thing's gonna be good for me because like I need something to do. Not in like a bored way, but like in a, I think I'm meant for something and I need to be. And anyway, so I went to I went to this little temple, and it was like, hey, I can like be of help to you. And then I was told to come back and see if the goddess had heard me, and I thought it was gonna be a sham, but I came back, and there was like armor, and it just kept washing up, and it like fit me perfectly. And at first I was like, who died? And then I looked, and it was like the shells were like appearing, like it was being created in front of me, and it was like, whoa, that's sick. I looked on the inside, and it had my name. I'm kind of far from the bed. It's a little awkward, but isn't it cool? Anyway, yeah, the turtles. Thank you for saying that. The turtle was on the shrine. And I just think it's like it's cool that it's there. It's like she's with me, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. So it's probably a good idea as a paladin to know the name. And it's gonna be Zeboim.
Oh, yeah, that's actually really good to know. Thank you. Yeah.
Raven now makes a mental note.
Actually, I've just like never met
and has a small notebook.
Nice.
She's writing all of this stuff down.
Nice. I've never like met an evil paladin, so I was just like, they're all good. It's like it's chill. Can't like if you can't plan like really be a paladin apprentice to an evil god, that would like suck. So it's like if it's
mumbled under his breath, define good.
One second.
What is the difference between good and
his head swivels towards you. He goes,
I'm just doing what the gods made me to do.
Not this. His head swivels towards you. And he's just like, I don't know. I'm not really a faith person per se, but like I know that concretely at least some of the gods are real. And I was like, worth a shot. I could just like unpaladin myself. I'm not gonna just go around on a crusade and kill innocent people. It's like that'd be like messed up. So, at the very least, just do something, do good in the name of whoever the fuck, and then it's like, yeah, it bounces out.
Hey, Ripley, your personal issues with Kip aside, I just want to point out, Kip seems like he has his head screwed on straight. Even if he may have fucked up this issue with your brother, he actually seems to kind of have his head screwed on straight. I just want to... That's what I'm picking up.
Yeah, but you can have your head screwed on straight and still be a shitty person.
Sure, I'm just pointing out that at least so far, if his paladin order told him to go on a murder spree, he was not going to do it. So that's good.
Thanks.
That can't be said of all paladins. That can't be said of all paladins. I'm just pointing it out.
Yeah, I'm not like looking to have blood on my hands. That's not a thing I'm into. In a bad way.
It's very sticky.
Yeah. Okay, Raven. Okay.
Terribly difficult to get out of linen.
You see him in the same way that Raven frequently writes on her paper. You see him make a mental note.
Of course, you don't have to get it out of linen if you wear black.
He gestures to the crop top. I love this. This is a great dynamic that's happening right now. What's up, Raven?
I don't even remember at this point. Just skip. So much happened in that interaction that at this point it's.
Is it about the viscosity of blood?
No.
Ripley, how are you feeling about all of this?
Well, I think, having thoughts in my head.
Vocalize them. That's the next step.
Well,
you could just speak them. It doesn't have to be.
That's, yeah. I know for a fact that 2 seconds ago would have just taken his head and just, I've decided not to do that. That seems harsh.
Would've been
rolling that
hot.
back. Oh, thanks. Yeah, thank you. We talked about this. Yeah. Anyway, my head hurts.
Yeah, you know what?
Okay.
I mean, it does make sense your head hurts. She did punch you twice pretty hard.
No, this is Ripley. This is gonna be
Oh,
great.
Ripley, okay.
Because they have the same voice, but one of them is lower pitch, and I'm definitely gonna forget. It's gonna be great. Oh boy. Okay. I've moved away from the rage. I think. For now. At the second. And I'm listening. I'm understanding. I am taking in information. I'm going
And then
to
she
sleep.
activates second wind.
No.
And beats the shit out of him again.
Okay. Okay, well, I guess covering information, because I still have to decide if I'm gonna kill him. This is Kip. Kip, this is family. My real one.
And
Everyone,
who is-
Kip is, my cousin.
Oh.
He's,
Yeah, I saw the.
he's not a bad guy, he's just a dingus.
Does she say?
Yes, yes, she does.
Nice.
He's just a dingus, and his dingushood put my little brother in danger, but I also know that, and I know that when we were younger, we made a promise that we weren't going to lie to each other, and it seems silly, but we pinky swore on it, and I have not broken that promise.
Wow.
And last time he broke a pinky promise, he cried for 3 years, and now he's a paladin. So I don't think he's going to break that again. I feel like that's pretty solid. But I still want to hit him.
Hit him.
She punches him again.
Renori pats her on the shoulder.
Thanks, I felt better. You can stand up, Kip. Jesus. And Kip does stand to his full height, and he is exactly 2 inches taller than her. Okay, so I feel like we got off on the wrong foot. Does anybody want some soup? Or perhaps
We
fresh
already ate.
bread? Oh, that tracks.
Oh,
Right.
There's like not any left, really, if you were hungry.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, I thought.
I kind of
Yeah.
just went ham on that whole pot.
Mhm. That's okay.
We're big eaters.
Yeah, no, you guys needed it more than I did. It's okay. Am I like good? Am I still like under? I don't know if I was under arrest. I don't know how this works. This hasn't happened to me a lot.
You're not under arrest. We don't have authority here, first of all. Second of all,
Right.
arresting people is bullshit, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Sis, you agree for incredibly self-serving reasons, so I don't know about.
what you mean?
I am gonna. Well, I don't want to. I haven't like slept in a while. I would like to sleep if that's okay.
Yeah, and I'm really tired of being around you right now, so I think we could
That's
Speaking of being tired,
go in
that's
to the
fair.
other room.
Most people are tired of me. Okay. I hope you guys sleep well. Like out on the way out. I hope you sleep well.
So is he staying put?
Yeah, this is like
Okay.
he intends to stay in this room, it seems.
And Tide's gonna stay too to get laid.
Listen,
Raven
don't jump the plot.
Raven does like
They've
take
been the
a
same religion. It'll remove so many obstacles for their relationship.
Fine.
Yeah.
Raven does take a beat after like Renori and Ripley have like left the room.
Mhm.
And she's just like, sometimes bad things happen that are out of our control, but bad things happen, and so these are the consequences, and we just have to deal with them.
Yeah.
This is me being kind.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, but
When you have to clarify that you're being kind.
I mean, sometimes Raven does.
He accepts it as genuinely as if you said it like it was kind, you know?
Yeah. And she's just gonna be like, I'm just gonna go and
Sleep.
in solidarity be like, fuck that guy, but I can empathize.
Thank you. I'm very confused.
How far off is he from the pack of us at this point? Has he walked away yet?
Oh, he stayed in the room, and everybody is like
Okay.
exiting this room. So
Is Faustus still in the room here?
Yeah, I think so.
unless
At the moment.
yeah, I mean at the moment, yeah, Renori has left, Ripley has left. Tessa and Boomstick kind of hang out in the main room. Because there's
Is
just
that armor?
also
Is that armor still there? I just want to eye it.
The armor is on the bed. Yeah.
Just a little.
Sorry we ate all the food again,
Oh.
but we didn't know.
No, you guys needed it. You didn't know I was here. You needed it.
I have some dried berries.
If you're offering, it's very kind of you. You don't have to. It's all right.
Was there like food also, like a kitchen area that we saw or passed by?
The food it seemed to be prepared communally outside and then brought into individual abodes in smaller pots. So like the pot Iselda brought in seemed to have been like there's a kitchen with cabinets. It just doesn't have like a stove and everything in the sense that like the galley on the Seahawk does.
Okay.
Faustus shakes some craisins out into Kip's hand.
Thanks.
Odd.
Thank you.
Sure.
We should probably leave you to rest. Raven slowly backs out, but she's gonna be like,
I hope you get some sleep.
Yeah, you too. Things will end up getting better. You know?
Yeah, I hope so. He kind of pops a craisin in his mouth. Because they're craisins now. Tide, are you still hanging back in the room?
Yeah, where is he positioned at right now?
He's standing in front of the bed. So the armor's laid out on the bed. He's standing in front of the bed.
He's standing. And he's what, 6'2"?
7'2".
7'2". Okay.
Ripley's
He
7
said he was.
tall.
Yeah,
I thought you
Ripley's
said he
7
was 6'2".
even. He's 7'2".
Okay. So
I memorized those numbers in a heartbeat.
Oh man.
That was uncommon for me. You know?
Tide is going to kind of like pat him on the back.
Mm-hmm.
Like, listen, she'll get over it. We'll figure it out. Like, I wouldn't worry too much about it. And like he'll like keep like patting, and then like it'll slowly turn into like a little bit of like a circular movement. And it'll probably last a little bit.
Okay. Are you doing anything else? It's just the.
Oh, he's gonna wait for
okay.
For his response.
Right. Yeah. Thank you. And then kind of notices the lingering touch, and turns a little bit. Puts his hand on your shoulder. Kind of lets it linger. Thanks.
Yeah. Anytime. and then I think Tide will like very, very slowly start to walk out
Okay.
with no intention of actually leaving, but
I don't. Did I catch your name? Tide,
oh
right?
yeah, yeah, I'm Tide.
It's a beautiful name.
Thank you.
It suits you.
Tide turns like a little purpley since he has like the light blue gray skin.
Hmm.
It's nice to meet you.
Is Tide gonna fuck every single relative of the NPCs?
That
He
appears
didn't
to be
do
the
it.
long
He
term.
didn't do it because we reset the timeline.
Mm-hmm.
Well, technically, he's still. Anyway.
I think we can assume Tide was equally horny in the other timeline, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would say that science tracks.
Listen,
Look, I think all these characters are also horny. That no matter what timeline you put them in, that's one constant.
Yeah.
is Faustus still in the room?
Oh no,
No, I
Okay.
think
No.
Raven.
I assumed that Faustus eventually
No,
left after Raven.
You can bend
That's-
over.
I
It's
had to
fine.
I had to come out to give berries to Kip.
How dare you? Tide is not the one doing that.
Kristen.
I registered what Kristen said. Chose not to let it sit in my brain.
It
Tide
got
is
in there.
okay. At this point, Tide is like facing. I already forgot his name.
Kip.
Hip.
Oh
Kip.
my god.
I knew it wasn't John, but I couldn't
It's
remember.
the easiest name we've ever been given.
Yeah.
Yep.
No,
it sure
John
is.
is the easiest name. He's facing Kip. He's at the door, with like the door is like open, like at maybe like a 45, maybe a little bit less, and he's like holding the doorknob like behind his hand, as if like he could close it or he could walk out at any time.
Okay.
I want to say that Raven was fully expecting both Faustus and Tide to follow behind her, so she's doing that thing where like you're waiting for the other people, and so she's just like staring. She's like, "Oh, okay," and then she like walks away. She's like,
Ah.
"I see what's happening here. I'm just gonna."
And the minute that Raven like walks away enough, Renori is gonna be like, "Yeah, Raven, I'm pretty sure Tide's trying to get laid."
I mean, I don't blame.
Okay. Are you just looking at him, by the way, Tide?
Yeah.
Okay. Huh. Character development. He looks at you, and you see like the initial flicker of confusion, before like the brain actually kicks into gear. He goes, so is there like enough space in the room next door? Because there's like space here. You could tell he's really trying.
Yeah, he's
thank
me
you
in
so much.
college.
I mean, there's only one bed, and I'm sure Casper and Renori are going to take it because those two are like rabbits. And he's gonna like shut the door behind him,
Mm-hmm.
like kind of push it backwards. So now he's leaning on the door, closed in the bedroom.
Okay.
I mean, he's not wrong, but
I just
Well.
find it hilarious. Tide thinks that you guys will fucking in a common space.
Yep. Apparently so. Well.
I
And you see him like his skin starts to like flush a darker
Oh my.
I
green.
have.
Clutching my pearls.
And he just kind of shuffles a little bit, like so.
Tide will walk over. Is there a lock on the door?
There's like a small you
The
turn it,
door
yeah.
was busted in. I'd like to.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's
I mean,
true.
but he asked me if there's a lock on the door. There is.
So wait, so is the
Does it
door
work when it's there?
closed? Like, are
The
people,
door is
can
closed, but
people
the door has
see?
been shown. There's like, so if the door's like dented in, like there is a dent in enough for a person to step through. So the door is currently shut, but if somebody wanted to stand at the door, they could probably like
Oh, do I take the risk of my friends being perverts? And
Also, I
some of
think
them
that
have dark vision.
like what happened to my door and investigate anyway. So
Being quiet's a thing though.
Look, at this
Not for
point,
him.
at this point, if Faustus
Yeah.
wants to see something, he'll just cast invisibility on, and put her in the corner. On Lilith, put her in the corner.
Yeah,
So,
that's
like,
fair.
you're not safe ever, but he wouldn't do that, so you're fine.
also, we don't know if Lilith even left the room from her initial.
She did. She would have made her way
She
back
did.
to Faustus. Yeah.
So
Or did she?
Tide is going to turn off the light,
Unless.
however that is done.
Yeah, there's
Whether
a
it's like a
small
light bulb
candle.
or a candle
There's
or
a
whatever.
few candles that you could just snuff. They're like a very much a turn, and you just snuff it.
I like the idea of Tide going to each candle in the room.
Yes, there are like 3 in this room, and you just.
And then he's gonna kind of walk over and sit down on the bed.
Okay. The armor sort of clinks as you sit beside it. And Kip just also just kind of hovering a little bit and goes, so, let me, I think you're really, oh boy. And you just see him starting to flush darker. Let me move my stuff. Swipes all of the armor onto the floor. just Thankfully it's laying on like it looks like it's actually like a cape as part of it. So like a lot of it gets tangled up anyway and it muffles like most of the sound. Just
Do we hear this?
roll me perception.
I'm probably also like, oh, never mind.
Wait.
I assume the rest of the peanut gallery is rolling, so I'm just waiting.
Yeah, 23.
Mhm. Faustus, are you rolling?
What am I rolling for?
If
I'm
you
so confused.
if you hear
If you can hear
If
us.
you hear the fucking.
Hey, we're not fucking yet, so
Yeah.
you're gonna have to re-roll for that.
Well, originally it was all of the armor.
My passive perception's 19. I'm gonna hear everything.
we'll see.
Oh my god! I got a 28.
Nice. There's a general working and rhythm outside of the house. Although the windows are very thick, the walls of the house aren't so much. They just seem very firmly rooted. It looks like a storm wouldn't necessarily knock over any of these houses, even if it was a fierce one. But you can hear a lot of the outside noise of like the clanging of pots and the fishermen dragging their catch back, and even what sounds like construction nearby. Just like hammers and things and such. Even then, you do still pick up a very distinct poof, 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 through the wall from the room across the hall.
Yeah, and Renori will turn to Casper and be like, "It looks like for the first time, I'm not the one getting laid tonight."
I hope he's happy. You know.
No, I good for him. Sad for me.
Okay.
Good for him.
All right.
You can make it one night.
I have made it several nights anyway. Sarah.
I was just on his back like this, eyes closed. He's like, Nori, Casper, if you guys want to fuck, it's fine. I can sleep through anything.
I'm not sure I mind an audience, so.
This is my moment.
This is supposed. I'm waiting for Sarah to articulate her thought, and she keeps taking psychic damage.
She's gonna just be like, I'm gonna pretend like she was on the verge of saying something. Renori said that, and now she's just like, I'm gonna unpack that. I don't actually know. Later. I'm gonna assume that wasn't Tide or Kit that just fell on the floor and is now concussed. I feel like it
No, like there was armor on the bed. They gotta clear it, right? Like,
I didn't expect for him to just get off the bed though.
when
seemed
you're
important.
horny, you're horny.
Anyway,
All of the while.
Tide. Anyway,
Mhm.
Are
Tide.
you horny?
The armor quickly finds its way to the floor.
That's my secret.
And he, oh my god.
That used to go on a
he just
t-shirt
kinda like,
for Renori. Horny. That's my secret. I'm always horny.
this is the first time I'm glad we don't have a merch budget.
We need a mug. Just like
No,
on
we
the
don't.
website.
Anyway,
Yes, we do.
Tide. He kind of puts his face in his hands for a second and just goes, okay, I think you're so very, and I just don't,
Tide takes his shirt off.
uh-huh, uh-huh, okay, and just kind of like stands up. My mother raised me respectfully, and I'm having disrespectful thoughts.
And he unbuttons his pants, pulls him down, and gets into the bed.
I have never heard somebody say, I didn't have a mom as a way to...
I did not buckle my seatbelt.
You're welcome.
Okay. Yeah.
Guys, in case you're wondering about, like, oh, I want a TTRPG reel, this is the moment.
Mm-hmm.
This whole entire interaction.
Give me 3 words, Ted.
I would love to. The 3 words are going to be. Can I give you 4 words?
Yes,
but one of them is what's the word? A contraction or what? I don't remember.
The word thing isn't just. It's just a loose thing.
Tide's a dom top.
Damn. Okay.
Oh my god.
I have to ask because of the situation. What's going on with the volume? Is there any thought or care to it whatsoever?
Yeah.
No matter what.
He is considering it. Let's just say, well, he keeps himself quiet, but because of the height difference, he can't necessarily keep Kip quiet if Kip chooses to. So,
anyway, so
it's pretty much exactly the position Kristen's in right now is kind of what he's doing.
I had such a distinct visual image of words that I don't think I'm allowed to say out loud. So I'm trying to think of how to paraphrase these words.
I'm trying to understand how Renori has fucked at least 7 times this campaign, and this is the most.
Everyone else is clutching their pearls. This is amazing. I'm just gonna paint a very quick still image for you, for the sake of giving you your moment. With the candles snuffed, there's just the faint glimmer of moonlight across the bed. And he's got one arm kind of arched back with a grip on the headboard. At one point, you think you hear the wood splinter, but you're a little bit distracted at the moment.
Sure.
Nary a sound, but plenty of pleasure. Nice. Everyone else in the next room.
Plenty of pressure. That's Victoria's secret.
All right, I gotta go. Next door. So Iselda has passed out all of these colorful, not just the gray one, although Renora, you've had a tight clutch on the gray, fluffy gray blanket. All sorts of furs that have been turned into blankets, but also proper like knit blankets as well. Various colors, patterns, softness. And there's plenty to make nests on the bed. Some people have brought bedrolls. Well, not on the bed, sorry, on the floor, so that it's like more comfortable to sleep on. There's obviously just the bed, which is like it's a little bit smaller than the one in the captain's quarters, so it would probably be uncomfortable for 2 people to share, but not the worst. How is everyone else sleeping?
Raven will try to claim the bed.
Raven can have the bed.
Okay.
Are there open rafters in this room?
Oh my god.
Yeah, with the way the house is constructed, when a wall goes up, it does meet the roof, but in the room itself, there are rafter beams that connect specifically to the wall that forms the room.
Casper, give me a boost.
Okay. Slides over, laces his fingers together.
Climb up the rafters, go into like a corner of a rafter, and just like
And stay there.
balance on it. Just
Nice.
And then with, you know, whatever like furs or blankies or whatever is available, Renori would like create a little nest to like cuddle with Casper. And no funny business, but she would like, you know, sweetly kiss
if there is,
him.
Faustus will know. 28
Yes.
perception.
Okay.
She will like sweetly.
And I have
like,
dark vision.
Oh my god!
I also have dark vision.
She will
I just
like
remembered that.
I'm just gonna
like-
rename this campaign Psychic Damage.
like just a little bit of light making out, but not like in a frisky way, and like a lovey, like cuddly way.
Before
Get a room, you two.
That's somehow
We're in a room. We're in a room. This is a room.
before this, before Casper lays down with you, when he gives you a boost, he goes like, do you want blankets? We have a lot of blankets. Do you want blankets?
Good.
Okay. Just checking.
I want the blankets.
Raven takes
He can
the
have a
pillow
blanket.
that's on the bed and
Oh, he doesn't want one.
throws it at Faustus.
Roll to hit.
Or at.
What?
Roll to hit.
2 or at.
@/2.
Roll to hit.
Okay. Oh, why is that? Oh, I forget. Oh, 19.
Faustus, what's your AC?
100% that hits. 17.
Okay. Roll me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, y'all better watch. Y'all better watch. Here we go.
I mean, you
A
can catch
dexterity save is a +9. That's a 20, a soft 20.
Okay. So the blanket does impact with the side of your head,
pillow.
and it is very. It's heavy. It's a hefty blanket. It's one of the furs.
Pillow.
Pillow.
Pillow. Yes.
Oh, a pillow hits you in the side of the face. And it's a pillow. But you do manage to catch it kind of where it hits the side of your face, and you don't go teetering off or anything crazy. So you're able to keep a good grip
So
on
you're
it.
more comfy.
Would there be, like, maybe a pile of blankets and pillows somewhere nearby that had been left
On
to
the-
shoot something along those lines?
Yeah, she would have set up initially, like, folded all of the blankets and everything and pillows, as many as she could muster. Iselda would have, and set them out for you all on the small bed.
Bonus action telekinetic shove. I push Raven into the pile of blankets and pillows. That is a
It's strength, right?
strength save against a DC of 15.
What's up, Raven?
I got a 16.
Nice.
God
You
damn it.
feel
Honestly, can I fail it on purpose?
yeah, I mean if you want to, sure.
Okay, for storytelling purpose, I'll fail it on purpose.
Okay, you feel
You can't. Yes, you can fail it on purpose.
you feel a shove in, like, just in the center of your back, like center of gravity. And there's a moment where you can catch yourself, but you know what's up, and you just into the blankets.
Yeah, Raven will remember how emo Faustus got about not fulfilling the pranks from the caramel incident. So she just sort of lets herself get like tossed in there.
Oh no, I've fallen.
That's,
Oh,
like,
you
kinda
got
how-
me. It's like playing with a 3-year-old. Ah, you got me. Oh, you're so strong.
That's her energy in the inside, but she just gives Faustus a small glare and like takes another blanket. And then this is like a habit that Raven is in now, and like this is something that's going to happen with every bed that she will sleep in. where she does not use the pillow but will use her pack because
Mm.
it's just genuinely something she's more used to at this point. So she uses that as a pillow and kind of like wraps herself in like all of these blankets because he's like, I'm just gonna take my pants off, and I really don't want that to be an
That's
image
fair.
for anyone. At least not now. And she'll sort of like slide her pants off, fold them, put them in her pack, and then like have these blankets around her.
Nice. Okay, you get comfortable. This house does have a few drafts, especially at the floor, but the blankets are more than warm enough to insulate all of you, to where you don't even feel it. And it's more AC, which it actually does seem to be constructed that way. It's more AC than anything else at this point. Tide, would you stay in the room after your extracurricular activities?
Oh yeah, how loud was that?
Nary a sound.
Wow, she really didn't listen. Um,
Were you not studying the
yeah,
flashcards?
yeah, he would stay.
Okay.
Has been-
Okay. So there are like a couple of fur blankets in this room as well. More specifically, it's like what made up the bed before you messed it up. But the blankets themselves are clean. And so afterwards, there's plenty of room. Although this bed is a bit small, there is enough room for you to sleep how you wish, whether that is a cuddle or respectful distance. But it is
Tide
somewhat chilly.
is a sweaty.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
He'll
I
be awake.
unfortunately know that one
that's fair.
on the hip side of things.
Me too.
Yeah.
But the bed is comfortable and it is dry, and that is good. Well, maybe not for you because you know that's not how you operate. But in general, it's pretty. It's a bed on solid ground, which is something you guys have not had in a very long time. With the stars above you, you have officially made landfall. And your very visible goal is in sight on the horizon, this cluster of twinkling lights at the base of these just jagged, bare mountains that curve all through the center of Rydell. And you're starting to see the first inklings of what Ripley was talking about with possible animosity towards her family. With that being said, you all settle into relative safety. And that is where we're going to end this episode. Dang, I can't believe that's when we lost Sarah.
And I stopped before they can get us on copyright.
Nice. Appreciate that. Okay. Well, I have to stall until Sarah comes back because I can't end stream until Sarah comes back. First of all, please support my lovely players. I love them very much. They are amazing. You can everybody's links are in the chat right now. I just love these folks so much, and they make my week. And if you're here and you're supporting what I do, I appreciate that, but please extend that love also to my cast because they are phenomenal. Oh boy, I'm running through the list of things. Oh yes, Black History Month is coming up. I'm going to be talking about it a lot. I'm a queer Black creator that is doing what I do from scratch. I write TTRPGs for fun. I run them for fun. This is what I do as a hobby. I'm fortunate enough to not have to rely on it for income, mostly because Twitch is unreliable, but I put a lot of work into what I do, and if you have been with us from the beginning, you just jumped on board, you're somewhere in the middle, and you like what I do, it is never expected, but if you have a couple dollars to toss my way, especially as we come up on Black History Month, and you should be however you can, whether it's financially or not, supporting Black creators during this month. If I am one of those creators you would like to toss some support to, my Ko-Fi link is now in the chat. It is also in my pinned tweet on my Twitter, which is Dawn_Liss, which is also in the chat right now. I'm going to be talking a lot more about some projects that I have coming up as the month unfolds and everything, but seriously pay attention to Black creators this month because no one does during the rest of the year. On my VOD channel, all of the episodes of Stormborn's Curse are now uploaded. This one will be going up over the weekend as well, praying that my Wi-Fi holds because it's supposed to snow. But I will be uploading this episode as well. And over on Fan House, I will be talking about a D&D character that I'm very excited about, that I'm about to be starting to play this weekend. Possibly we'll see how the content happens. Maybe even talking about Legend of Vox Machina, which I have not seen yet, and I'm going to be watching the first 3 episodes tomorrow for the very first time. I'm very excited about that. Might talk about my reactions to it as well over on there. I want to get my Fan House back up and going. Drink water, take your meds if you haven't, stretch. And I think we're going to end this episode here. We'll see you all next week. Oh god, where are my buttons? Hold on. Okay. Bye.
Bye.